30 seconds. The show will start in 15 seconds, and this is your last audible warning.
Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
So that when they have the kids, they stay at his house. But if not, like it's really there's a lot of weird stuff going on right now. And Linda just bought a house by Nick, and it's just a whole big. It's probably stuff I probably shouldn't be saying. I probably should just chill out. Next thing I know, I'm going to be
dead.
Yeah.
Wow. You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Broadcast rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
Bubba the Love Sponge show, Monday, May 5. Isn't today Happy Cinco de Mayo?
Yes,
isn't May 5 happy? It's where white Americans use that day to go get drunk, all in the name of Mexican?
Yeah, pretty much.
Isn't May 5 Cinco de Mayo the equivalent to Mexico to our July 4th?
Kind of, but there is a different Independence Day for Mexico. I think the beer companies made this one more for
Cinco de Mayo. So Corona pretty much jammed it in.
Yeah.
Are you having a Cinco de Mayo party, Lummy?
Lummy has parties. By the way, Lummy had a
Derby.
Kentucky Derby party. Which let me screw the Kentucky Derby because I go and see what the Kentucky. I just happen to stumble upon the Kentucky Derby coverage like at 4:00, and there's a race on. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'm missing the Kentucky Derby. So I watch it, but they're running on these horses. This race is like race 7, the Bluegrass Willie, and it's on their. See, if you look at the Churchill Downs, they have 2 tracks. They got an inside grass track, and then they got an outside, dirt track, or clay or whatever the hell they use.
Yeah, they have clay and dirt, or clay, dirt, and grass.
Man, I need to be the groundskeeper of Churchill's Downs because they should have in between races on, because there was probably 13 or 14 races before the Kentucky Derby.
I think the Kentucky Derby was race 13, so there should have been 12 before.
So
yeah.
I think
so you're watching racing for like 4 hours.
Well, first of all, I turn it on and it's like race 6. I'm like, oh my God, I'm missing the Kentucky Derby. And then they're like, that was the race number 6 of the Bluegrass Willie. Don't forget the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby will be around 7:00 Eastern tonight. I'm like, it's 3:30.
Yep, it's an all-day event.
So I got to looking at, they would like alternate, so they had like race 7, the, Lexington, McGillicuddy, and then race 8, the Yippee-Yo Jones, and then but they would alternate between grass track and dirt track.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking
Literally go back and forth every single time?
Most of the time, yeah.
Yes. So now, Dan, send me send me the Kentucky Derby.
Okay.
And, so
2
anyway,
minutes. I mean, it's not that long of a race.
Yeah.
but here's the deal. So a couple things about the Kentucky Derby. One, while we have these things called lily tillers, and they're an implement that you use on the back of your tractor, and they till up the ground, but they don't till it down very deep. They only till it down a couple inches, 2-3 inches, and the implement was originally made for peanut farmers to dig up the peanuts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, to dig up the holes to plant them, or to dig them up to actually to harvest them?
To harvest them.
Oh, okay.
Because when peanuts go on the ground, and you have to dig them up, and so you sent me the
race. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let me see. Lummy race, full race. Okay, hold on. And here we go. So Dan, the track, the Kentucky Derby, the actual track, the dirt track, was a mess, as you can see. It was
a rainy day, yeah.
Oh, yeah, but it was a complete mess. Well, if they would, on the 12 other races that they had in between races, if they had 4 or 5 of these big lily tillers, you could till up this ground, and you'd get 20 or 30 or 40 minutes of air dry. Between, so when the race is on the grass, you'd be tilling all this up, and it would be air drying, and it takes like another, in between races, it takes forever for them to get the horses out and everything. So you usually get
42 minutes between the races.
Yeah, so if you had like 5 or 6 big 16-foot. By the way, money is no object for the Kentucky Derby.
It shouldn't be, right? You would think it would be listen, whatever it takes.
Right, and me and Rob from Eldora, Rob Plattfoot, we could be out there tilling this and at least get it probably 50% drier than just leaving it open and muddy and sloppy, and you could get the track to probably firm up 50% more so than this. Now I was pulling for Dan, I actually Googled how many Ocala, how many horses in the Kentucky Derby came from Ocala?
Right. There's a couple from Florida,
and there
right?
were 3.
Yeah.
There were 3.
Tampa one, too.
The Sandman, America somebody, and then like this Nezoprene or whatever.
American Promise.
Number 2, the guy in the 2-hole right here who ends up pacing the entire field was not only... In my research, not only trained in Kentucky, but was actually is a Florida bred horse, and so it's kind of rare. Also, I learned in my research that Secretariat spent a ton of time in Ocala training. So
Florida's a real horse state,
No, hold on.
It's a huge one.
No. Ocala in Marion County is the horse capital of the world.
Really?
Yes, it has more horse ranches and horse training facilities than per capita than even Kentucky. And one of the reasons why, I've told this story before.
When are we going to have the Ocala Derby then?
They have the World Equestrian Center out there, and what they do in Ocala, they don't necessarily have any big prestigious races, but they have all these horse farms where they train. And here's one of, and you can look it up, I guarantee you I'm right. One of the reasons why Ocala became the horse capital of the world is, and this is way back when, like this is maybe 100 years ago, that part of the state of Florida, Marion County, is really has some of the highest concentrations of lime rock of the entire state. Meaning there's more lime rock, so the grass, when the horses graze, that's all they do all day is graze. And when they eat the lime rock infused grass, it makes their bones stronger.
Really?
Yes. Look it up.
It's like high calcium?
Yes. Look it up.
Yeah.
Lummy, do you have an article to back me?
Yeah. Horse capital of the world, which is known as Ocala, Marion County, because of its beautiful, mild climate all year long and soil rich with limestone calcium for strong bones.
Damn it. Where's my thing for myself? There we go. So Dan, they figure if a horse is grazing all day and they're grazing on lime rock, calcium-based lime rock food, more so than just the regular grass that grows through the dirt of Kentucky, then they feel as if it makes, and that's their diet. As they're grazing, it makes their bones stronger.
And what's the worst thing you can do to a horse? Break a leg.
I mean, they shoot them.
It seems a little extreme for a broken leg. I mean, we do so well with humans that break legs,
but here's the deal.
Dogs even.
Here's the thing. I don't understand why you can't fix. Why you can't fix a horse's broken leg. Is it because a horse can't? You think you could get like a big strap, couple straps that go underneath his belly and keep him off that foot or cast it or something.
I would think during the operation where you put like a rod in it, you know what I mean, like an open reduction, internal fixation, you take them straight to the operating room, you put the rod in it, you plate it or whatever it takes, and then all of a sudden they can walk on it. Because
by the way, Dan is quitting everything and becoming a broken leg doctor.
I know. He makes so much
Dan,
money.
can you listen?
They're $5 million, $10 million horses.
I was getting ready to say, can you imagine what the margins are?
Oh, I know.
Okay, hold on. You got a $10 million horse, right? You can either A, shoot him, or B, pay this doctor $1 million to fix his right front.
And then he can keep slamming young horses for the next 5 years.
Right.
That's all he's got to do. He didn't have to race again.
No, because
just F. All they got to do is whip their ding out and fertilize female horses all day long.
And a lot of them will, listen, with horse breeding, I think a lot of them are ejaculated. Human ejaculate. Like they get they
There's rules about that, though. Some of them have to be bred the old way.
Oh, the old way.
Old-fashioned way. And I think that's the case.
Dan, can you imagine, though? I mean, you could if you had a $10 million horse.
Yeah.
And you told the guy, listen, it's $1.2 million for me to fix it. I'm the only guy the guy couldn't get the $1.2 million out of his wallet fast enough to pay you. You do 3 or 4 surgeries a year, and you're richer than you've ever been.
Right.
What do you do? Well, I used to have to do 100 boob jobs a year and 46 facelifts and 29 butt lifts and deal with the American public and then go and be a lawyer and all this. Now I just fix about 3, 4 broken right front horse legs, and I got a yacht. I mean, I can make more money every day of my life. So anyway,
it's a shame though because it's so sad. You see these brilliant horses that spent 3 years.
I would cry
at the top of the game.
I would cry my eyes off. Now, Dan, I don't think they shoot him. I think they probably euthanize him, right?
Well, it depends where you are.
Yeah, we're on the track. They don't pull out a gun and shoot them. They they give them a shot.
But when
Dr.
do they shoot him?
Remulac, $100.
Let me ask you a question. Today is our first day back on Rumble.
Yes.
And it looks like we might be on the front page. Or, I don't know, you have a better understanding than that, but, I mean, we're almost at 3,000 people.
Yeah, it's...
So they must be promoting us in some way, shape, or form. Seth, are you monitoring?
No, I don't ever go to Rumble.
Oh, does it scare you?
Yeah. It's
scary.
Yes.
Well, Seth, you should see my little... Let me show you this, guys. Look at this. I mean, look at that. 20,
wow.
Yeah, let it eat. I mean, you don't go to it, but you don't necessarily boycott it, right? I mean, it's good for the show.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I'd have no use for it.
Well, okay. I like Rumble because you're never going to get in trouble there.
Yeah, we're never going to get in trouble there. And we had a nice meeting with the Rumble people, and they got a better understanding. And, Lummy, it looks like they're doing what they promised they'd do for us.
Thank you.
So here's the deal. I'm pulling this number 2 horse. First of all, what's the network, Lummy? NBC.
Peacock.
NBC can suck my D.
And yeah, Bubba, we're on the front page, by the way.
Perfect.
Yeah.
NBC can suck my D.
Why?
Who wants to watch 4 hours of horse racing?
A lot of people. I was asking.
They got cards on horses yet, Seth?
God, no, just the jockeys.
Do jockeys have
cards?
I don't know.
You just completely made that up.
Yeah.
There might be a market for it, Seth.
Well, I haven't figured that out yet, but I would love to get into the jockey card business.
Yeah, they're stamps instead of cards because the guys are so small.
They're so teeny tiny.
4, 5, 4, 6.
Well, I got invited to.
Everybody had Kentucky Derby parties,
right? And I didn't know anything about it, so I was asking Lummy because I said, it's all you're standing around for 6 hours for a 2-minute race,
and then you wait 42 minutes for the next race.
Yeah, but I guess that's what it is. It's all about just the camaraderie of dressing up like a complete moron.
Do you have a hat there, Sethy?
Lummy, did
Yes.
you have a party? I heard
Yeah,
you
we had
had
a couple people over. Big Red. He's the only one that dressed up.
Babyface came over.
Yeah, Babyface came over with his kid.
do the women wear the big hats and the guys? Like, this is ridiculous.
Babyface dressed like a jockey, or
He just wore like a Hawaiian button-down shirt.
Whatever.
Big Red was in a three-piece suit.
Okay, Big Red.
Yeah.
I
He was the
can't.
only one.
I can't
Fancy,
say.
huh?
I can't ever say anything bad about
I'm
Big
not.
Red because
Scares
Big
me.
Red keeps this place going.
he's the greatest guy in the world.
Outside of the electrical and on-air aspect, which is Mach, the grounds and buildings and stuff like that, Lummy. Like if we got Lummy.
Yes.
If the goat shanty fell down,
Call Big Red.
what would be the first thing we would do?
Call Big Red.
Right. When we got a leak in the ceiling, what do we say?
Call Big Red.
Right. Call Big Red. He should
Yep.
actually start his own handyman service saying, call Big Red.
That's right.
Call Big Red is such a great catch too.
God, it
you know?
is. Call
a great
Big
hook,
Red.
I guess.
So I'm watching this thing, and Dan, I'm like, okay, the number 2 horse is actually a Florida-bred, Ocala-based horse. And so, I mean, that's to us, living in Tampa, that's
Home
probably as close to the home team as we can get.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, right, Seth? I mean, so, hey, hold on. They had a couple from Japan.
Yeah.
They had a couple. They had a couple ringers from Japan.
DEI, eh?
Yeah, DEI.
Oh, no.
DEI in Kentucky. You know it's over.
Japanese horses.
Yeah.
Get the
They
hell
can't
outta
run
here.
straight. They kind of go slant a little bit.
Lummy, did you see though the poor horses? They were all covered in mud and everything.
Oh.
All right, so here we go.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Sliding.
Oh yeah,
Journalism.
Oh yeah, you'd understand. They were putting slide jobs on people.
And did you know it's crowned like opposite? Like it's not banked. It's the opposite of banked. Like the outside's lower than the inside.
Yeah, it's reverse banked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so and the some horses run better on the rail, some better off. Lummy, the guy that won, he held him back for a while. He was last for a little bit.
He was. Hootie, $20.
It's amazing the strategy. Like you think that. You would think that being a jockey, you're just on there, right, Dan, holding on for dear life, trying to whip the crap out of them as you're getting closer down.
Like goggles covered in mud.
Yeah, you're just holding on, trying to just take. Really, there's a lot of there's a lot of strategy, and you're moving the horse around, and you're whipping him when he's supposed to be, and and so forth and so on. By the way, we got Buck. $100 for the PayPal. Woo! PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all at the Bubba Army.
I think Willie over the week at Paper Towel Willie gave like $250.
Oh, Paper Towel Willie. Woo. Let me find those actual donations so I can send some love his way. Let me almost 3,700 on Rumble.
Yeah.
How about that?
Doing well in the front.
Is in a little bit of traffic early on here, but he came out of the gate okay. Citizen Bull and Neo.
See, man, if I worked at Churchill Downs, I'd be like, hey, let's buy a lily tiller. It's a dirt mixer implement that you put on the back of a John Deere. If you had 5 of them, you could get the track done in 10 minutes. And after every race, Lummy, you're fluffing up this material, and you're giving it, if there's 42 minutes between races, then you're giving it 42 minutes to air dry. And by the 5th, you said the the Kentucky Derby was the 12th or 13th race. Well,
yes.
if you've tilled it 12 times, what's 42 times 12? Here, I mean, Dan's the smart one.
480 plus another.
Let me see.
24,
42,
so 504.
Let me see. 42 times 12. Exactly. So, Lummy, we got 504 minutes, and so how many is divided by 60? That's, well, I mean, what is that? 504 minutes divided by 60? Is that what you would do? Because there's 60 minutes in an hour.
Yeah, it comes to about 42 minutes. You have 42 minutes.
No, it comes to 8 hours and 4. That can't be right. I'm just saying, Lemmy, what's 504 minutes?
What's with all this math, Bubba?
I'm trying to say you'd have.
What are we doing?
You'd have that much time of having the track opened and exposed to the air to dry it.
So, Bubba, really, it's every other race is there. So you'd actually have 84 minutes in between.
Do you feel like just, because you handle a dirt track that you are,
a dirt track expert?
Yeah, that you are able to comment on conducting derby dirt and mud?
Black guy in Cali, $10.
Love that guy, black guy in Cali. Here's the thing, because I handle dirt a lot, Seth, I probably have a better understanding of how the properties of dirt work.
And I guarantee no other show this morning is emphasizing and strategizing how to improve the dirt of the track.
Well, I mean, everybody's just
only
going to
horse junkie gamblers. Probably that's it.
Close as expected to the
I'm just saying, like anybody who works with dirt, whether it's Buck or me or not, knows that if you would, after this the 6 or 7 or 9, whatever, however many races before this race, had they fluffed up this dirt, and because they just left it like this all day. So Dan, 2 races ago there was a race. You can see the pre-existing. If you look at, Dan, you can see the pre-existing. Races are all here. See them?
I thought that was from when they just let him out over the track they would smooth it out like a groomed ski slope between races.
You gotta open it up to get underneath it to get some air on it. All right. So anyway, here we go.
Come well off the rail, and these two are setting the pace with Owen Almighty to the outside.
Now, let me, as wet as it was record pace, wasn't it?
Yeah, which was surprising.
East Avenue is away running in 4th. American Promise
and I do know a couple of big, like Bridlewood. I know a couple people that work at some of the big horse farms in Ocala, and when it rains, like Dan, most practices on most outdoor sports, when it rains, you're canceled. Right?
Yeah.
No football, no soccer. But you know what I'm saying, though? But
soccer won't play in the rain, you're right.
Right.
Baseball won't.
Or you move it indoors if you can. If you're an NFL football team and it's raining, and whatever, you're going to go move it into your indoor facility. Well, in Ocala, when it rains, they train even harder because these horses have to be, like, if a horse has never been exposed to a sloppy track like this, they won't know what to do.
Right.
So when it rains at these training facilities, they bring the horses out. Like, they love rain when the track.
5th and down on the inside, then admire day.
I got a race this weekend at Ocala Speedway.
Oh, really?
It's ladies' night. We're celebrating Mother's Day.
Nice.
I think we got the open wheel modifieds, a bunch of other classes I'll talk about momentarily. But there's rain. All this, if you guys noticed, as dry as it's been, I think we might have, isn't it so far like the driest year ever?
Thank God, because my roof is now just getting fixed. But yes, it has been an extremely dry winter.
Which is good for us because
4 times it's rained since the last hurricane.
Right. So let me, for owning a dirt racetrack, rain is not good for me.
Yeah, no kidding.
God, you don't understand. I've literally had the track completely prepared, spent 10 hours on Friday, spent 12 hours on Saturday. It's 6:30. We're doing a driver's meeting at 6:45. We start hot laps at 7, and at 6:50, this big ass thunderstorm comes. Everybody leaves the grandstand, so you lose all your money there, and all the cars load up, and you still got to pay all your. You've cooked all this food. You got all your record drivers there. You got all your officials there. And you got to still pay them at least a prorated amount. You lose your ass. You absolutely, yeah.
Burnham Square is closer today. He's down on the rail, only about 5 lengths off the lead. Then Chunk of Gold. Journalism is saving ground.
Look at that.
It's beautiful. It's really cool looking, though.
Look at that. And
you ever ride a horse?
Think about this. Have I ever ridden a horse?
Yeah.
1 time. 2 times. One time when I was married to Heather, we went to Beckley, West Virginia, which is where she's from, and we stayed at this resort that
And you were svelte back then. You're like 250, right?
I was like 260.
Yeah, that's not obnoxious for a horse.
Well, hold on, a horse. She's like she's like a buck, 20, and I'm laying 260, and so the guy naturally gets me a bigger horse. And we're going through these horse trails where these horses have to kind of go through some rough terrain, and I could tell my horse was mad as hell.
Was he? Is that the grudge?
Yeah, he was mad as hell.
That's horse abuse.
I mean, you think about it. Think about if you're a horse, right? And me and Dan walk up, and the 2 horses are looking at me and Dan, and then I get on your back.
Oh, they're praying for Dr. Dan.
So they did give my horse extra treats when he got back. He was not happy. He was good to me though, man.
He didn't like throw you off or run into a tree?
The trainer of the horse, he was like he's like, listen, he gets a little ornery at times. So, my guy told me that like every 10 or 15 minutes, like pet him and tell him he's a good boy and everything like that. For real. He said these horses really have attitudes. Like, they
live like 15, 20 years. I mean, they have such a life.
They live like 20 years.
Yeah, as I said, 15, 20 years.
That turn, he's in the middle of the pack as Cole Battle goes up on the
Has anybody ever here witnessed a horse race before?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, it is one of the most, like, to hear them, it's like a thundering herd.
Oh, yeah. It's different than dogs.
Dogs are nothing. And it's like a thundering herd. It's like this, Dan. It's like being at Daytona or Talladega. You cannot appreciate when they take the green and then they finally get up to speed, and then when they come through the start-finish line, they're up to speed. And it's like a big thundering herd. It's like going to an F1 race. Television cannot. A couple different sports that television does no justice to. Racing. About any type of racing, horse racing, car racing, hockey.
So much with hockey.
Yeah, hockey, and that's about all I can think of. Racing and hockey are the only two that, like, you can't really appreciate the athleticism or just the event in itself. Television does nothing for it.
Far outside with rendered judgment.
Let me over 5,200 on Rumble.
Yes.
Keep that Rumble going. Let me. What's the currency for Rumble? Rumble rants? Is it
Rumble rants?
Is it a
yes.
rant?
Rants.
I don't think we've got a rant yet.
That was Black Guy in Cali.
Oh, we got Black Guy in Cali?
Yes.
Thank you, Black Guy in Cali.
And flying Mohawk. Then comes publisher Baeza to the out.
So this guy right here, Dan, this Nequius or whatever hell he is.
Equos?
Yeah, he's 42-1. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean
you bet $100, you get 4,200 back?
Yeah, hold on. How much now? You bet $100 and you get 4,200 on it.
Yes.
So this horse right here, American Promise, Nequidus, whatever, and then there's another one called the Sandman. He's not in. They're all from Ocala.
Nice.
Outside.
I mean, you know what? We should go do a show. We should get a hold of the Tampa Bay Downs, and see if we could all go out there and do some content with them.
Yeah, we got.
Seth, would you ride a horse? If I said, Seth, we're going to the Tampa Bay Downs for our YouTube channel to create some content, it's going to require you to get on a horse. Now, you don't got to run it hard and fast where you potentially would fall off. You just got to ride it like a cowboy.
Dude, a horse killed Superman. I'm a mere mortal. I'm not sure I could do that.
A horse did paralyze Christopher Reeve.
Oh, boy.
Of course, he was jumping them.
Of course, yeah, he was doing. By the way, Iggy McGillicuddy got a 20 on the Rumble. Thank you, Iggy.
What was Chris Reeve doing?
He was jumping.
Chris Reeve.
Oh, like equestrian type stuff?
Yeah, he was doing 3-day stuff. He was doing that like Olympic
Seth,
type
if you're just on it, just kind of looking like a real badass. We should do Cowboy Day. We all dress up like cowboys.
Yeah, Dan's got the outfit.
And then Dan's already got his outfit.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And then we get on horses and we don't even have to go to the Tampa Bay Downs. We could probably find a horse ranch somewhere to let us come out there and be cowboys.
That's right.
They have horses near my house.
I'd look like Hoss Courtright.
Yeah, get
down toward the rail
leather
Japan.
vest.
Luxor Cafe
Paper
leads
Towel
up.
Willie, $250 on Bubba.
It's big money. Who's that?
Paper Towel Willie.
Thank you, Paper Towel Willie, over the weekend.
No, this was just now. So another $250.
Oh, man, so 500?
Yeah.
All right,
Wow.
so Dan, look at this. So this is down the backstretch. This is from Ocala. This guy's from Ocala. Thinking, man. Plus, look, Dan, how many guys laid down 100 on this dude to make 42? Right,
because it's a very attractive long shot.
I think it's one of the longer. I think there was one that was 70-1. But you're like, man, if that 42-1 one.
Break of another 2.5 to East Avenue in 5th. Burnham Square is 6th on the inside. Brian Hernandez.
The Japanese horse went off. I think it was like 60-1.
Down on
So right now, Lummy, if you look at the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, top 6 on the backstretch, we're halfway down. So you're looking right here. Up here tells you how far. They started here in the corner. They went all the way there. I didn't know this but it's a lap and a quarter. Did you know that, Dan?
Yes, I did.
They start.
They do the front straight twice.
Yeah, they do exactly. So Lummy, they're more than halfway. You know, they're at the half mile.
Yeah.
And I think the top 2 guys are nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found.
The rail like he did with Mystic Dan last year. They're about 6 lengths off the lead as they race for the far turn.
Now at this point, Lummy, my Ocala horse, he's winning.
Citizen Bull on the inside, Neo Equos on the outside. These two right together on the lead.
And it literally looked at right here, Lummy. It looks like they just threw an anchor out.
Did you bet?
No, I didn't bet.
American Promise comes under pressure. Owen Almighty is fourth by 2.5.
Yeah.
Chunk of Gold is fifth.
Lummy, you bet, of course, you degen?
Yes, I did.
What'd you have in it?
About $50.
Trying to get involved now with 5 lengths to make up. In the meanwhile, we look back for journalism.
Now, hold on. Here are the homies you got to worry about. They're bringing the troops. Look it. And these guys here got it all strategized. We're going to lay our boys back. Let these other guys go out there and pace it, because our boys, our guys, got the kick. They got the kick. They got the nitrous.
He's been swung to the outside by Umberto Rispoli, and he's picking off horses one by one on the far outside. Neo Equos is the leader at the top of the stretch.
So hold on. At this point now, Lummy, Neo Equus is the leader at the top of the stretch. There's only this much track left. Neo Equus is born, bred, and trained in Ocala, Florida. I got goosebumps from thinking, we got a Florida horse going to win this damn thing.
Right.
Journalism is on the...
And then all of a sudden, Neo Equus just threw out it's like he put the emergency brake on.
He blew up,
Move as they turn for home, and Sovereignty is coming with him on the outside. The 2 of them go right by with a furlong to run.
Now, watch this dude. This dude's coming.
Yeah, I think that's number 21.
And Sovereignty, nose to nose, down to the last 16th of a mile. Sovereignty has taken the lead.
Now, Dan, it literally looked like this guy just hit the push to pass button, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. This guy right here.
Starts accelerating.
So let me just throw it back just a little bit. This guy's nowhere to be found.
Down to the last 6.
Right here. What is it, down by 6 lengths?
16th of a mile. Sovereignty has taken.
This guy's got
push to pass.
the lead. Journalism is second
Jesus.
for the inside. Baez is third,
acceleration.
but it will be Sovereignty to rule the Kentucky Derby.
So there's your Kentucky Derby.
That's cool.
Speaking of which, Dan went to the Miami F1.
Yes.
And who was it? You and
Jay and Rob Adams.
Well, that's it. Rob Elder didn't go.
No, Rob Elder did not go, but Rob's wife went. Leah.
Rob Adams' wife.
Rob Adams' wife. Yeah.
Right.
So it was fun. He was a great host.
What's it like with regard? Let me ask a couple things. One, did you get there on Friday? Or did you
Saturday? I got there. My cab, the Kentucky Derby ran while my cab was going to the hotel.
All right. So you and Jay flew.
He got in the day before.
Oh, Jay did.
Yeah.
Did you guys get a hotel room?
Yes.
Or
AKA in Brickell.
I don't know what that means.
It's a nice little hotel in Brickell, which is like downtown Miami essentially. And our friend Todd DeCercio painted a big mural in the lobby. They also served Jay's Salento tequila, and so they had a nice little tequila set up with their own labeling of Salento tequila in the room. It was beautiful.
Oh, so
and it's 2 blocks from Rob Adams' house.
Oh, okay. Now, does Rob Adams live down there?
Yes, he has a place in St. Pete, but he also has a beautiful condo in one of the high rises there. That's literally like a block and a half from where we were.
All right,
on the water. It's beautiful.
But he probably didn't have enough room to accommodate you guys.
Well, he had family down and stuff.
Right. So did you guys use some of your swag with regards to we're your official tequila provider, and our buddy painted a big mural inside of your lobby. So can we get? I mean, were you?
Jay did that. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
You got a discount and you got availability because they were, we waited
they were
late. They were sold out.
Of course.
Yeah, they said they were sold out.
But you threw the name around the Diagos.
Jay did.
Right.
Yeah.
And but can I, if I may?
Sure.
If I may, F1 weekend. It's one of the most popular weekends in Miami, other than if there would be a Super Bowl there or something like that. What was the average consumer paying for when did you guys get two queens? Or did you guys have your own? I mean,
we did one big king. That's all they had.
You guys slept together?
Spooned, yeah.
It's no big deal. I mean, it's just brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as it's butt to butt, you know what I'm saying?
I was facing the other way.
Right. What does a room cost?
Well,
is it a G-ball?
2 years ago when we went, or maybe it was 3 years ago. We spent $1,500 a night. It's obnoxious. This hotel, I was at South Beach. This hotel was only like $700 maybe a night.
800?
700-800, and I think Jay got a little bit of a discount off of that.
Now
they're asking like $750. Jay got for like maybe $650.
What about transportation to the track?
All Rob. We walked to Rob's place and he drove everything.
All right, now, and because he's kind of a sweet owner, Willie, did he get here's the thing.
The parking was awesome. Yeah, we got right across from the stadium.
One of the reasons why, Lummy, if I go to a Bucks game, I go and I beg and I absolutely get on bended knee and even prepared to give oral if needed, is to when I go to a Bucks game, I'm gonna go and stay in the Diaco suite just because of that parking pass situation.
It's so convenient.
Yeah, because nothing's worse than going to a sporting event. And parking is usually the worst at sporting events. Mm-hmm. I mean, right?
Yes, it is.
And for some reason,
once
the
you get
egress in that stadium sucks. The Hard Rock egress and getting out of there, there's like construction. It went down to one lane at one point.
Like getting to a Lightning game, Lummy, is sometimes like it sucks.
It sure does.
It sucks.
You're trying to battle through downtown.
So you're saying, Dan, boom, you got parking literally as VIP as your box at one at
yes. Somehow Rob was able to preserve that prestigious parking. Yes, even though we didn't have the box seats. It was awesome.
We'll get into that a little bit next. The F1 in Miami, and then we're going to get into Bill Belichick. His girlfriend supposedly during the Dunkin' Donut was it during the Super Bowl?
Yeah, Super Bowl commercial.
The Bill Belichick Dunkin' Donut Super Bowl commercial supposedly was not initially scripted, at least the way I'm reading it, with his girlfriend. What's her name? Jordan.
Jordan.
Well, yeah, Jordan.
Gold digging bitch.
Yeah. Gold digging.
I mean, come on.
Jordan.
On. It's cool if you're that old and you are able to pull that kind of age gap ass, but that age gap ass can't run your life. Now, if you're some pussy that, is not an alpha male and, you have a reputation of letting bitches run all over you or some things like that, okay, that's one thing. But if you're, Bill Belichick is the absolute epitome of strength. And like Lummy, he didn't put up with nothing from nobody, from Randy Moss to didn't Junior Seau play for him to Junior? God bless his soul, blew his brains out.
No, his chest.
Okay,
he preserved his head.
That's right. Junior Seau killed himself by blowing his heart up so that the NFL player, whoever I guess he donated his head to science,
yes,
so that they could look at what type of effects concussions have on players. I think Dave Durison, formerly from the Chicago Bears, formerly before that, from the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, I think Dave Durison did the same thing.
Yes.
So, and then they've gone back and determined that really CTE. That's why the NFL is so strict. You notice how I don't know that they ever really, Dan, you're a doctor, I don't know that they really ever released the Junior Seau, Dave Durison data. I think they kept it in-house and realized how bad.
They've studied everybody that allowed them to study, and there are a lot of brains that they have looked at, and they really have been kind of quiet about it because there's a huge effect on the brain if you play football your whole life.
What does quiet in the medical world mean?
That means everybody knows, but they don't publicize it.
It means it's bad.
Right.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
If it was, like if Dave Durison or Junior Seau didn't have a lot of brain damage or didn't have a lot of, whatever, they'd be like, hey, we determined, and Dave Durison was a safety or cornerback, and Junior Seau was a linebacker. So both of those dudes are every play, that they're involved in, if they are smashing helmets.
Junior Seau had said that they concluded the football player suffered a debilitating brain disease likely caused by 2 decades worth of hits to the head. Researchers and his family exclusively told ABC News.
So that's why that's one of the reasons why I won. Now, here's the thing. Remember NFL did like a $68 billion payout for concussions.
Yeah, they did.
And they've actually, I remember I think was it Will Smith or somebody did a movie about it called Concussions or NFL Concussions. I know Ty J, our good friend Ty J Armstrong, formerly Buccaneer, formerly Dallas Cowboy, formerly did he play for the? I think it was just the Cowboys. No, the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams.
Started out with a third round draft pick for the Buccaneers. Spent like 6 seasons with the Bucs, couple seasons with the Cowboys, and a season or 2 with the Rams.
The Rams and then the Cowboys.
Okay.
Yeah. 7
or 8 years in the season, and Ty J suffered a stroke years ago because of this. Because of CTE, and it's my understanding that no former players, like not anybody has really gotten any of this money, or that they've set up.
Really, they haven't really like distributed it.
I don't think
they just got earmarked it, but didn't. Let
me look into it. I got to go to words.
Okay.
But how much money has the NFL paid former players or set up like a healthcare fund with regards to the money that they were sued for?
Yeah, Brad Culpepper had so much head injury, which he tried to make a claim that he became a lawyer.
Yeah, he has never been to court, though.
It's a phone number.
Yeah, it's a phone number.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
On YouTube. Let's get that YouTube.
Stumpy, Holyoke, Longhorn 39.
Pretty good on Facebook.
That batter.
Congrats, Cash. That's awesome, man.
Terry.
C-sections are the way to go. Plan it all out.
They are, aren't they? When you plan a C-section, is there no breaking water? Do they just go in and take the baby at a particular date?
Yes, but as soon as they go in there, that water just pours out.
I know, but what I'm saying is like this. Say, okay, hey, listen, we're taking your baby next Thursday.
No, but if they're going to say, we're going to induce you tomorrow, they may say, come in tonight and we'll break your water tonight and start the process. But if they're going to do a C-section, they break the water when they cut.
Now, can a woman elect to have a C-section?
Absolutely.
Instead of vaginal?
Mm-hmm. Conversation with her doctor.
And what would you suggest?
Vaginal all day long.
Why?
Because once you have one C-section, you're almost buying a second one. Very rarely do you have a C-section followed by a vaginal delivery. They're supposed to come out the vagina, and why add that scar and the muscle trauma? I think it's much better.
What's up, Chubbing Up Spice, Seth Sweet Pin? Do we have our moderators in place on fucking Rumble? Cause
Yeah.
Tampa Terry, Semi-Autoglass, Travis. We've gotten some rants. We're gonna hit $8,000 here. So if I go to the home page of Rumble. Oh, it does. It has us up there.
Should be number 1.
Hold on, let me see.
We're number 1.
Yeah, we're number 1. This is the home page right here, guys. Look, this is the home page, and
wow,
they got us at number 1. Let me subsequently make sure you send an email to Vivian and Sarah saying thank you.
Will do. The concussion thing.
That's all they gave out was $750?
8,000.
I'm working on. I'll try a video on it.
You know, Seth, clicks more than anything are going to really matter now.
Yeah.
8,000 with 8 thumbs up.
I think if we do a bloody Joe Biden head tomorrow, we could really fucking maximize our front page access on Rumble.
I think so. That or I think that's it. I think the remember the comedian that got in trouble? They had the Donald.
Yeah,
Kathy
Griffin.
Kathy who?
Kathy Griffin.
Do one of those, but with the Biden gimmick.
Yeah.
Will you be the one that holds it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about Cookie Powers.
So you're the holder?
Yeah.
Oh.
CC Hall.
That's not gonna make your mom go fucking absolute batshit crazy.
Thomas
Who
Cordova.
cares? Rumble will love it.
G. James. Wow. Wayne Galasso. 305 Express. Grumpy old man.
Okay.
Fuck you. Rudy. Iggy. Big Red. Creatine. Bill Piper. Ethan Jones. And Terry.
Now, where are the FTE shirts at? There we go.
Yankee Jib. What's up, Got Havoc? Organic Gene. Jake. Charles Evelino. Jesse.
PNN Ryan, 47 months.
Really? The blips. Sucks like that. Oh, that's pretty nice. I gotta call you the police. Heather Spin. J-Fish. TXL Glide.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
You may or may not know, but we are live on Rumble now as well. We added them back. We are working with them. They are really, really doing us right now. Hopefully, Lummy, this is the way it continues, and as always,
yes.
And if this is how they roll, that's how we're gonna roll. We'll roll with them, my friends.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Want to remind people that today at noon, this is as long as I can go. I got to get the order in. The Fat Man Dunks 3. By the way, we have our own merchandising situation here at the Bubba Radio Network, the Bubba the Love Sponge Show. We have all types of stuff. We actually, let me make merchandise is actually a major part of the way we pay the bills around here. Not only your lovely donations through PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, and BubbaArmyTips.com, but again, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, all being at the Bubba Army. Rumble rants, super chats on YouTube. There's just several different ways to support the show. Buying a membership at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Maybe being a subscriber on YouTube and getting some exclusive stuff over there. Our studio lines, which there seems to be a couple ringing right now, 813-90-BUBBA. I wonder if we should put on our screen here if I bring
if you want us to do 813, we used to do that.
Yeah, studio lines.
We could bring it back.
813-90-BUBBA. But we have a merchandise wing to our business, which does very well. We're not like we make all of our own stuff. Well, we have it. We manufacture. We have all of our stuff manufactured. We don't have some radio shows and some shows they get with that T-shirt cafe or whatever, and then they just it goes to them and then they just put the logo on it and ship it out. But we do it ourselves.
Yeah,
we design it ourselves. Yeah, but the T-shirt cafe and stuff, you don't make any money. You don't make any money. If you want to make money, you got to do it yourself.
Chop it up space, $20, Rumble.
So this is we've had 2 other shoes in my Fat Man Dunks shoe series, and it's a Jordan ripoff. Yeah, it is. Air Bubba. I've had Air Bubba for years.
You're supposed to say inspired by, right?
I'm sorry. Thank you for the correction. All of our airness and dunkness is inspired by the great Michael Jordan. And Lummy, how cool would it be if Jordan if somehow saw them and didn't sue us, but instead put us over?
Yeah, that would be pretty tough.
That'd be huge.
That would be huge.
Lummy, I don't know where the Rumble excitement ends, but we might hit 10,000 here.
Oh, I think we will.
We're at 9,100, and it just continues to grow. Welcome to the Rumble. My name is Bubba the Love Sponge, and this is the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
And we got Andrew Tate coming up, so just stay throughout the show.
with a Russell brand kicker?
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, if you go to Bubba Army Store, Bubba Army Shop, or Bubba Army Merch, you will go to our merchandise webpage and you will see everything that we offer, everything from Air Bubba shirts to backpacks to tactical bags to knives to outdoor straw hats to Lummy, let's not forget I have my very own fragrance.
Yes.
Bubba Army Alpha. Volume 25. It's inspired. I love this stuff. The inspired by. It's not a ripoff of Creed. It's inspired by.
That's right.
The great fragrance of Creed. Dan Diaco, a co-host here at the show, who's a doctor and a millionaire. He actually has Creed, real Creed, and he helps me formulate our inspired fragrance. This is volume.
They smell great.
It's volume 25. And you can get that at our store. Bubba Army merch.
24 is great too.
Can I tell you what my trick is? I do a squirt of 24, and then I throw a squirt of 25
on top
on the other side, and it does a mix minus Willie. Whew. And it makes the merch crick, as wet as the ocean.
Really?
Oh yeah,
it's like the racetrack.
Wetter than Churchill Downs.
Yeah.
So anyway, listen. So this is the third shoe. We've had two other shoes. The first one was a Trump-inspired all gold Fat Man Dunks 1. Then we had kind of the Fat Man Dunks 2, which were Lummy, kind of like the low top 1986 Jordan-inspired black and red. And then we also had a different color combination on that. That was a 2-shoe series, but all under the Fat Man Dunks 2 category. There's a number 2 on the back. And then today at noon. So what I'm trying to say is you only have today till noon to order these shoes. They're pre-order only. And they're going to be just like this. The only difference will be there'll be a 3 inside this little area right here, denoting this is the third series in the Fat Man's Dunks deal. So,
and what's your turnaround? Do you think? 3 months?
No. We should. I should have them to you in 60 days.
That fast?
I should have.
Really?
Yeah. It's looking like.
And that's genuine surprise.
Yeah. I should have them.
That's impressive.
Now, when you order them, make sure that you put in the comment section whether you want them signed or not. If you want them signed, I'm going to sign them with a silver and or gold. I got to see which one looks better. Sharpie. But if you do not denote that you want them signed, then you'll just get the shoe. But you only have today till noon to buy these. Now, the other thing, Lummy, that we brought back. Now, I don't know why Merch Crick. By the way, we do. There's the Fat Man Dunk 1s.
Yeah.
We also have Fat Man Dunk slides. There are a few of the Fat Man Dunk 1s. There's like maybe 10 pairs of various sizes. If you happen to click on it and get lucky that your size is available, so be it. Lummy, I don't know why the Merch Crick put, this is a pre-order aspect only as well, and that is our Full Trucker Effect shirts, which I don't know why. Oh, looks like she moved them now, because I just yelled at her on text. So maybe she...
What'd you yell at her about?
She had them buried?
She had the retro... Yeah, of course. I love her to death.
Oh, they're number 1 now.
Yeah. I texted her and said, by the way, the Full Trucker Effect shirts are the last item on page 2. So she quickly moved them. Now, these are the original Full Trucker Effect t-shirts circa Sirius XM 2006 through 2008. And and Lummy, we're only pre-ordering these because I don't want to get stuck with a bunch of them. And these are only available till noon today as well.
Oh, wow.
So you got noon today on that and noon today on that. Bubba Army merch, Bubba Army store, BubbaArmyShop.com, and order away. There might be some other stuff too that you see on there that you like. Like, I mean, what man doesn't need a Bubba Army utility knife?
That's right.
The same one that I got taken away from me at TSA and almost thrown in jail for.
Or a backpack.
That happening?
Or yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Yeah, you of all people getting caught with something at the TSA.
Yeah.
Hello, who's this?
Bubba, hi, good morning. Jason calling in from the outskirts of Louisville, Kentucky. Doing okay?
Yeah, now are you going to, first of all, don't disrespect by saying that Ocala is the horse capital of the world, but you can you can Google and see that Marion County and Ocala indeed by per capita of amounting training facilities and horses they have is the horse capital of the world.
It says it on Google.
It says it on Google. Don't get mad at me because you're from Kentucky and people from Kentucky will fight you over that.
Personally, Bubba, I do not have a dog in the fight. I work in the media, and as someone who works in the media behind the scenes, I'm so glad that the Derby is done. I mean, I get it, it's a moneymaker, but quick question for you. During your EBN days, did the J. Cole boys ever hook you up and send you down to Churchill Downs?
No, never did. Boys just pretty much did all of our stuff in Cincinnati. I was at one time heard in Louisville, I think on K-Rock or something like that when I was widely syndicated. QMF when I was syndicated at night. So no, I never really did. Never did anything. Never did much in Kentucky. The only thing I got a guy from Nicholsville, Kentucky, Gary Stanton, that built some of my race motors back in the day. But yeah, I don't have a lot of. And one of my first program directors lived in Paducah, Kentucky, but not a lot of Kentucky ties to me.
Right. Yeah. Really, when I see the Kentucky Derby, I can see like you and Dr. Dan there. I mean, it's very.
No, I don't. Listen, I'm not getting there at 3:00 and leaving at 8.
It's a huge cocktail party, Bubba.
No.
155,000 people.
I didn't see a lot of real cool boxes or anything. I saw a lot of standing, and I like having a box where I can sit my fat ass down a little bit, have my own. So no, no. If I want to go watch a horse race, I'll go down to Tampa Bay Downs and watch a few. Yeah. Pull right up front row parking and be done with it.
Back in the day, we'd be on Radio Row, and we'd be all set up. So Radio Row was set up right when they took off. And it sounded like one of those old, like 69 Chevy Camaros, ready for a drag strip. Just goom, goom, goom. That's what the horses sounded like. So if you've ever seen like a drag strip and you hear them just good, that's what those horses are, because they're ready to go.
Yeah, that's the other thing. When I was talking about what television doesn't pay justice to, another is NHRA drag racing. Boy, television just doesn't.
Oh, yeah. Bubba,
So-
you're a good man. I'll talk to you later, man. I got to go. You have a good day.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Thanks. We've officially crested over 10 G's on Rumble.
Wow, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you, Lummy, so much to Sarah. And it's just absolutely exactly what we wanted to happen. And our opinion as to what would happen if we got better exposure did and is. And hopefully it's like this every day.
It should be.
For the session so far, Lewis Hamilton.
So, two big major sporting events over the weekend. F1 now, Dan. How many times do they come to what the Road of America? I'm sorry,
Circuit of the Americas
in Texas, and this one.
Yes, and they added a third one, Vegas.
Oh, so they come to America 3 times now?
They didn't used to. It used to be once, and there was a couple years where they didn't come at all. But they went to Vegas last year for the first time. And
now are they seeing because I'm guilty of this. I didn't really become an F1 fan until like the last year or so.
Because?
Because NASCAR's gotten so bad.
Oh, I thought there was another reason you were going to tell me.
Well, I think the technology.
No, I thought you were going to talk about the reality season, the reality series about Formula One. Because that made a lot of Americans really understand and embrace Formula One. They're crediting that.
I understand Formula One, and I just didn't. I just as NASCAR's gotten crappier, I've found myself going to Indy and F1, and F1. I just cannot believe how much money they throw at it. Oh my God! It's all about even the little paddock areas where they stay, and then they build these like little mini cities for each team, and then the driver has his own like little lounge area, and it's like it's cubic dollars to the nth, is it not?
It is. And what's funny is they keep talking about, sustainable fuels and going green, yet each team requires 3 like semi trucks, and it's an army of people. They have to get a whole boat. I mean, it takes multiple airplanes when they have to go overseas. These guys have a carbon footprint the size of Bigfoot.
Just the motors. And by the way, you got Mercedes, you got Ferrari, you got Honda. Does Red Bull use McLaren?
Red Bull, I believe, uses a Honda engine.
Okay. So you got, 4 or 5 engine manufacturers?
3 or 4.
And so here's the deal. When, when a team has a motor, they don't even own it. They rent it. And it's $11 million to rent the motor for the year.
It's like Bill Belichick's girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's an under.
Here are some of the highlights of the Miami F1 race.
It's not much. It's 100th of a second for Oscar Piastri, but Lando Norris trying to take pole position around Miami. Can he go to provisional?
Oh, is this qualifying? That's qualifying.
Yes.
This is. I think. This is all qualifying highlights.
Comes down to the final corner. They are basically neck and neck. There is 9 thousandths between.
Now, Dan, are these things so sketched that they're ready to spin out at all times? I mean, like...
Well, the thing is, they don't work until they're hot.
Right.
And so when you start to drive it, you can't get it to work right because the tires are cold, the brakes are cold. And so it's really difficult to warm these cars up. And people that have never driven them spin them all the time. They're super temperamental.
Long time forming up. They'll need to be quick.
I had a guy, my good friend Danny Lasowski, the ex-sprint car driver.
Yeah.
When he was doing IROC and other things like that, he had an opportunity to do a rookie test down in Indianapolis and get in an Indy car and take what they called rookie orientation. So before you get to drive at Indy, before you even get to try to compete to make the race or anything, you have to do what they call rookie orientation. And that's where they put you in a car, and they got guys like Al Unser and AJ Foyt and some of these old school got Mario Andretti, Michael Andretti, and they watch you, and then you go through different series. And so they'll get on the air and be like, okay, you give it more, go, we're going to get you up to 180. And so they get you up to 180. And then they said, okay, now we're going to go to 190. So Danny was telling me at 175 to 185, the car literally felt like it was going to spin out and you were going to die at any time. He said, but as soon as they got me to 190, the car sucked down where the arrow starts using it. He's like, it just became like it was glued to the ground. So I think, Dan, you got to, these things don't want to perform under, you have to have
the most
them.
dangerous thing you can do is drive them half speed.
Right.
They don't perform well. They have mechanical grip, but no aero grip.
He said at 185, he felt like he was going to die. And at 190, he felt as if it was going to glue.
Position.
Laura Muller, the race engineer for Esteban Ocon, wincing because Team Ocon were the ones that lost out eventually.
Now, Dan, could you see yourself doing this?
Absolutely.
Wow. Down at turn 17.
They put soft tyres on that, surely.
And on the Ferrari.
That doesn't look good.
That didn't look good. That's Ollie Behrman. He's gone off the track as well. He's been overtaken by Carlos Sainz and then off the track for...
All right, let's go to the very...
Is Behrman an American too?
I don't know.
Slowest driver in the top 11 on the previous lap. So where they had a bit...
I like that F1, if the leader is out there hauling ass, and if the second place guy gets within however many, like if he gets like within 3 or 4 or 5 car lengths, then his rear at certain portions of the straightaways, his rear spoiler will open up and cause less drag and just give him like 10 more miles an hour so he can catch the next guy.
Yes, it's called the
DRS,
the drag reduction system, and there's a zone ahead of it where they evaluate, and if you're within 1 second, then when you get to that straight, your
now
rear
is that for
wing
all
opens.
cars or just the leader?
No, it's not the leader. It's the guy behind it.
No. What I'm saying is,
all cars.
Is it
All cars, the whole
only
car.
for the first and second place guy? Meaning
the whole field.
All right, so like
after the first 2 laps.
If I'm running 5th and I'm within 0.2 of a second behind 4th, my DRS will open and his won't.
Correct, and you get 10 to 15 miles an hour on the straight.
Again, it is.
Now, do these guys have push to pass like the Indy guys do, or no? I don't think they do.
They don't, but they do have KERS, and they can implement that. So it's kind of like a push to pass, but it's not counted. They just have to recharge it.
Hello, who's this?
They do have a boost.
Hey, what's going on, Charlie?
Okay, Charlie, this is your Monday call. Hello.
I don't want to shine. Quick question. I'm curious. You have a staff of 3. My gut says you probably pay them each $5,000 per week.
Yeah, everybody here makes 5 G's a week.
All right.
Oh no, I'm not trying to be the funny guy, but I'm just curious. Do they make more than $5,000 each
a week? No.
Seriously?
5,000 a week is 20,000 a month. Is 240,000 a year.
Yeah, it's $250,000 a year.
You idiot. I mean, I've made those numbers, but only when I was on top. There's not a guy in Tampa making 240 right now.
Is McLaren in Miami, Papaya and Piastri on top as Oscar Piastri wins the Miami Grand Prix.
Now, is he one of the dudes that always wins, or
Nope.
was this a little bit of an upset?
No, it's a little bit of an upset. 2 things. Number one is, do you have this guy named the Red Bull driver, Verstappen, Max Verstappen, and he's probably the best driver out there
Has
now.
Has Lewis Hamilton lost his mojo? Meaning he used to be the guy that
I don't know that he lost his mojo as much as his cars have not been as good as some of the other cars. But the Red Bull has been very, very strong for the last 4 years, and Max Verstappen is a really good driver. And so, despite the McLarens, Piastri qualifying ahead of Max Verstappen in the first turn of the first lap, Verstappen gets the lead. And so it takes about 7 or 8 laps for Piastri to get on his butt, and tried to pass him a couple of times, and then he did this brilliant pass. It was beautiful. And then Verstappen was holding up the second place car, because the first lap they're all like a quarter of a second apart. By like lap 10, the first place car was almost 8 seconds ahead of the second place car, which was Verstappen. And then once Norris passed him, then he never really caught up to the first car. And so right now the McLarens are super, super strong. The drivers just aren't quite as savvy as Max Verstappen. He's an excellent driver.
When we return, Dan will say, he asked us earlier when we were preparing the show, hey, has anybody heard of Rufus Dussault?
I thought it was a restaurant.
And every one of us was like, no, we don't. Even Seth, who seems to be more alt/pop culture, Seth.
I listen to music after 1988.
Sure, exactly. Thank you.
Yes.
Trying to say that. Seth happens to probably be pop culturally the most diverse on newer stuff than we are.
Right.
Period. I mean, Dan listens to I think I heard him play Heat of the Moment by Asia when he was pulling it.
I was playing Rufus Dussault. I downloaded like 10 songs.
So Dan says, hey, listen, man, Saturday night we went to this party, this F1 VIP Yippee-Yo party, and there was this band called Rufus Dussault, and all the hot 25-year-olds and just any good-looking, younger, 21 to 30-year-old chick, all knew the lyrics, knew who they were,
loved them,
were going crazy. Mm-hmm. And Dan's like, I had no idea who it is, and neither did I.
I really thought it was a restaurant. He's saying we're going to Rufus Dussault, and I'm looking it up on my Apple Maps, I can't find it. Where is this place?
And they're not even from here, are they?
They're Australian.
Yeah.
3 guys, man. They make a ton of sound with 3 guys.
Well, we're gonna get into that. Lummy, the Merch Crick has asked me to extend the full Trucker Effect T-shirts till Friday due to the fact that she had them buried on the back page. Although the Fat Man Dunk 3 Jordan inspired tennis shoes, high top tennis shoes, those will be not available after the cutoff time for those are noon today. We'll take the full Trucker Effect T-shirts till Friday.
That's good. Yeah, a lot of people were saying that they hadn't seen them. So
she had them buried.
Yeah.
So we'll let you go till Friday on those.
If you love that segment, then check out BubbaArmyHQ.com and do a deep dive on past shows. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
Yeah, I don't know how to navigate another page.
You got the room back. Yeah, sure. Ringo Valentino, 82 buns.
I mean, we might be number one. I'm going through all the front pages clicks right now. We might be number one in all of Rumble.
I think we are. I mean, he did tell us that, this is a good time slot for us. And then, morning, Internet Fred.
Now, when it says Bubba Army 1.68K views, is that like followers?
No, that's like who kind of just comes on, comes off. It's like changing consistently.
I don't understand, but hopefully, because I mean we're at 10,000.
Yeah, we just got a nice bump up. Yeah, was that we were coming back down to 9 at the 7 o'clock hour.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I wonder why we have. I mean, get a hold of Sherrod and ask him can this number change to a bigger number? I mean, because we're at 10,300, and this says 1.6K.
Yeah, I'll ask him. I'll ask him to try to explain it.
Yeah.
I took a screenshot, so I'm sending it to him now, so he understands what we're asking.
Thank you, all you Rumblers, especially all you new Rumblers, and over 1,000 on YouTube. Internet Fred, CC Hall, Kenny Powers, David G, Blummel's divorce attorney Jake, B-Dog, Tile Guru. Tile Guru, thank you for getting Merch Crick's house ready.
And this is
Thuggish Ruggish.
This is our commercial break for our terrestrial.
Yeah, so for you Rumblers, this is the 5 minutes and 20 seconds that we take to break for our terrestrial radio station commercials. And then we have an open mic where we can talk a little bit more freely, we can say fuck and stuff. And you're right. Bubba can't fuck up Rumble. No, I hope not. Oh my God, I mean, we're gonna hit 11,000.
Go. That's right, Black Guy and Cali Rumble's back. But people like also the Rumble aspect for not even the chat, just because it's easier, I guess. You don't have to, you can leave it on in your background.
They like Rumble because of what?
They can leave it on in the background, so they don't have to have, YouTube, you have to get a membership to leave it streaming, to be able to lock your phone.
But Riz Rumble just lets it rip?
Yeah, you can lock your phone on Rumble.
11,000.
People act like it's the biggest thing in the world to do that kind of stuff.
And they can. If you start with a smile. I was told, always start with the smile. I would give the biggest hi.
Oh, it's all about presentation.
It really is.
11,000.
What's that?
11K on Rumble.
Oh my God.
We're the number one show on all Rumble right now.
Oh, I thought you were telling me something about. I'm sorry.
Good morning, Quicker Ticker.
Oh, good morning.
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, at the Bubba Army.
There are two of their really big songs is On My Knees and Inner.
Well, this is Pressure.
That's a big song too.
It's what came up. On My Knees. It looks like it's got all these fucking. I can't even. Inner Bloom.
Inner Bloom's a huge. That's the one. That's from the first album. That's their biggest song probably is Inner Bloom.
Hey, Lummy. For those scoring at home, Dan is a fucking
Rufus Mark.
Dan's about to fund their next record.
Mm-hmm.
Been around 15.
Dan's gonna start playing this in the office.
We got Diaco Records now with Rufus Del Sol.
Dan's gonna do their American distribution.
I again, not very few concerts. When you go to a concert, not knowing shit about the band, I'd have a good time there.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabedo studios.
Aquabedo.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all at the Bubba Army or Bubba Army, BubbaArmyTips.com. We get a lot of that. Courtesy of Patrick Melton. Thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you.
Don't forget, man, if you're, well, God, let me, now. Steps Towing, you see him. I think they cut a deal with NASCAR, and they're the official wrecker of NASCAR. So you'll see the California race in NASCAR, and you'll see Steps Towing wreckers out there. Steps Towing sends 4 or 5 records to every NASCAR race there is, no matter where it's at.
Really?
That's how big they are.
Wow.
And I used Steps Towing this weekend, Lummy. I'm not going to get into the conundrum I had.
Oh, no.
But
you had a conundrum?
I needed Steps Towing. They took care of me. And I called 800-330-8657. Lummy, I didn't need the Bubba Army 2025 promo code because the owner, Todd Steps, already had me hand-delivered. But if you anything that you may need, lockout, dead battery, flat tire, in a ditch, need a flatbed, mechanical deal, wreck, crash. If you need anything like that, Steps Towing, 800-330-8657.
Yeah, they're the official towing.
No, I'm sorry,
partner.
8650. Is it 8651 or 8657?
I'll look it up. I see an article just how they're the official towing company of NASCAR.
I think arguably the largest towing company in Florida, certainly in this area. Everything you need to know about NASCAR's official towing partner now is the official towing partner of NASCAR. NASCAR tweaked its damaged vehicle policy in 2025 following the chatter surrounding Ryan Blaney's car getting towed back to Watkins Glen despite only minor damage last year. The number 12 team said it could have repaired the car and got their driver back on track. However, the rule regulated them to the sidelines. Back then, NASCAR, blah, 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 blah. In February of 2022, the governance unveiled a former alliance with Steps Towing and Heavy Transport, a well-known Florida-based company. The association crowned Steps as the official track recovery service partner of NASCAR. So,
That's awesome.
I mean, that's pretty big.
And it's 800-330-8651.
1, not a 7.
51.
800-330-8651 if you need anything of that type of nature. Thank you so much to the guy that came out and helped me this weekend. Let me, So Dan goes to an F1 party. He's in Miami, being the badass doctor and lawyer that he is.
Thinking I'm going to a dinner.
Thinking that you think you're going to a dinner?
I thought we were going to a restaurant named Rufus Del Sol. That's how badly I did not know who these people were.
So, but hold on. The way you dress for a dinner is certainly not the way that you go to an outdoor Rufus Del Sol concert.
No, absolutely. And I get to the room.
Were you overdressed?
Oh, I get to the room and I put on my nice little Miami shirt, my nice slacks, my nice pants, and we're Jay's calling Rob, said, "What time do you want us to come over there?" And Rob's like, what are you wearing? And he's like, I got my shirt. He was doing the same thing.
Right.
And Rob's like, I'm in jeans and a t-shirt and sneakers. I'm like, what restaurant are we going to?
Did you even bring jeans and t-shirts?
Yeah, I did. I was ready for anything. So I switched to jeans and a t-shirt and sneakers and wore that the entire weekend.
What was the venue of
outside, downtown?
Downtown outside.
It was near where the Magic play. Not the Magic, the Heat play. Yeah.
Oh.
There's like a big outdoor area
like a big
there.
outdoor venue, big stage. How many thousands of people would you say?
I think I heard there was 25,000.
25,000.
Maybe 30.
Now, were you just able to enjoy the music, or did you have like VIP side stage Willie deal?
We found a side stage cement. We weren't on the mud or grass area that. Eventually, towards the end of the concert, everybody found. But for the first half, it was just like us. We were really close. And
as you were scanning, so this is the group, Rufus Del Sol, that was performing that you knew nothing. I've never heard of.
Right.
And you said there were, out of the 20,000, probably 12,500 hot chicks under 30 that knew every lyric of this three-piece band.
Bubba, I have to honestly say it was probably 2-to-1 girls to guys. And I have never seen that in a concert except you go to like, Taylor Swift or something.
And it's just three dudes.
Three dudes. And they all play multiple instruments.
This song is called Pressure. And Dan said this is one of their hits. See, maybe we need to be a little bit more cooler and be rolling like this, or I think it's just pretty much over for us.
I think it's over for us with these guys.
You take care of the goats, and I take care of the racetrack.
And not Rufus Del Sol.
And leave the doctor and the lawyer to being the cool dude. Maybe with the card trader. I want to hear. Now, are they from Australia?
Yes.
Now, do they sing English?
Perfect. It's weird. Australians don't sing with an accent. They speak with one, but
Australia, they got a cool accent.
Yeah, but when they sing, and there's a lot of Australian bands, they never sing with the accent.
You can certainly correct me on this. Does it got a 9-inch nail feel to it?
I'm only 28 seconds in.
Okay. So far, the video sucks. It's just them three standing looking at a wall. Dan, do you think they'd get a lot of ass?
Oh, my God. Yeah. Dude, every girl in there would have just ripped their clothes off for these guys. And the dude that was behind me with all the lights that was dancing by himself with like a little 10-foot patch by himself, he would have taken his clothes off for him.
No, it
wasn't some guy like a little bear suit swinging his arms and pumping like they did
with an Apple, two disc set deal.
Nah, they had real big boy instruments, guitars and drums and some keyboards.
Feels like a new information society. Pure energy. Seemed like there's much talent here.
It's kind of like 9 Inch Nails and Coldplay.
I thought
Coldplay was the word you were looking for. That's the band you're thinking about.
9 Inch Nail had if Trey Reznor had sex with the Coldplay dude, and that's going through a divorce, he's losing his house, losing his role.
He's all
back in black.
That's right. No AC/DC here.
How about You Shook Me All Night Long? How about Enter Sandman?
Yeah, Depeche Mode-ish.
How about Depeche Mode? People are people.
People love it.
You'll never break me down.
People love it.
I guess I'll bet you $1 million on me. I can tell you what the next lyric's going to be.
What do you think it's going to be?
You'll never break me down. You ready? Let me see.
It's a little repetitive.
Let me see if you owe me $1 million. This is like a Molly deal.
Yeah.
Like you just can't be straight. Yeah, you got to be on mushrooms, weed, Molly, or all of the above. I mean, you can't just go to this thing stone cold sober.
I don't think there was a lot of people there that were stone cold sober.
All right, thanks, Dan.
People falling down and stuff. It was great.
Now, will Jay come in and sing the praises of Circa del Sol?
Yeah, he will.
Like you did?
Yeah. He loved it. And again, he had no idea who they were. And he absolutely loved it.
Did he have the same reaction?
Yeah. Surprise and enjoyment.
By the way, Lummy, our YouTube channel, when we started this morning, we were only 40 away from hitting 126. I know there's 40 people out there.
Yes.
I mean,
please.
let me listen. On our Rumble page alone, we got nearly 12,000 people. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of Rumblers that also have YouTube stuff. I'm sure that there's a cross section of most people have both.
Yeah.
Flip over for you Rumble people. Go over to our YouTube channel. It's at the Bubba Army, and subscribe or get a notification or follow or something. So because we put some exclusive stuff over there. Like I do a food review, Lummy does a goat review. We post all of our podcasting over there. So there's a lot of exclusive stuff that's over there as well. Now we're always going to have the live show, this show, the morning show, the 6A to 10A show. That'll always be here on Rumble live. Rumble has come through, Lummy, with their promise with glowing color.
Yes, they have.
And so we will. Yes, but if you want to find some of the stuff that you potentially won't find on Rumble, some exclusive stuff, whether it's Seth Kushner's Card Blasters or whether it's Lummy's Goat Report or whether it's go to our YouTube channel. It's at the Bubba Army, the same as what Lummy, I'm assuming isn't our Rumble at the Bubba Army?
Yes, it is.
There you go. So go over there if you could. We were only 40 away from hitting 127,000 subscribers, which is great. So we got an email. If anybody ever wants to get a hold of the show, what is it? Show at
BubbaArmyHQ.com.
Show at BubbaArmyHQ.com. And occasionally we'll have listeners send us stuff that we can use. And I got to have the merch crick try to find out who this person was.
I found out.
You did?
Yeah. Patrick Mahoney.
Really? The football player?
Boy.
No, Patrick Mahoney.
That's Patrick Mahoney. That's the autistic cousin of Patrick Mahomes.
Right, exactly.
Patrick Mahoney. So anyway, there was a fellow Bubba Army got a hold of us and said he was watching KCRA. It's a Sacramento, California television station, and there was some type of shooting that happened at this corner in Sacramento.
I sent you the news story.
Oh, you did?
And Patrick Mahoney is in it.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Is he like, yeah, I'm Patrick Mahoney, and I live right here, and I heard a couple shots go off.
Like a viral interview?
Now, but before I go over there and do that, I want to show you the still. Is that look at the Bubba Army flag in the background?
Yes.
Look at the Bubba Army flag in the background. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Thank you, Patrick Mahoney.
This
is the news story right here.
Yeah, this is one of them, but he makes an appearance in it.
All right, here we go. What am I going to get? Of course, a pre-roll.
Like a cameo?
There is still crime scene tape at Linden Road and Allen Avenue in West Sacramento.
I heard shots about
is this Patrick Mahoney right here?
I think so.
This is Patrick Mahoney, Bubba Army, who had a Bubba Army flag outside, hanging on his little flagpole by his garage.
A giant flag.
Yeah. The 3x5 double-sided Willie, and it got on the news.
And I knew what it was, so I grabbed my phone, came running downstairs.
What's up,
peeked outside,
Patrick?
make sure it was safe.
What's up, Bubba Army? What's up, Bubba Army, Patrick Mahoney?
Nice.
I'm going to have Merch Crick send you a nice little care package, my friend. You got us on TV.
Safe. That's when I noticed the kid sitting over on the ground, and his two friends were with him, and I tried to do first aid as best I could.
West Sacramento police responded just before 10 p.m. Officials say the victim...
So it looks like somebody got shot right at Patrick Mahoney's, in his yard. In his yard?
It looks like it.
Yeah, or at least in the the sidewalk in front of his lawn.
A 16-year-old boy had been shot multiple times.
Just try to do some first aid to make sure he was okay. I didn't know he was shot at the time. Now he's laying down. He was saying he was shot. And so we're trying to find out what...
So, Dan, if a guy's shot... You're a doctor, by the way. Dr. Dan Diaco here. He's a doctor. If you're shot...
Yes.
And the guy's still breathing and, still coherent, there's really not much you can do because the only thing... when they're going to have to dig that bullet out, don't they? Or at least find the path of the bullet to see what it potentially hit or hurt. So if the guy's breathing, CPR and chest compressions may not be what a shot guy needs.
It depends, and the other thing is, sometimes people were shot twice and don't even realize they're shot a second time. And it's people don't die usually when they're shot. It's about 1 in 5, and you certainly don't die right away. So there's an opportunity to hold pressure.
Unless you get blasted like right in the head
or center mass
heart, there's a chance.
Yeah, it's like
right?
you got shot with a bow and arrow. Exactly. I mean, it's just a hole. And so it depends where that hole is.
Saturday morning, police arrested a suspected shooter who is also a juvenile.
The West Sacramento Police Department says that their investigators so far.
Let me any Bubba Army flags on this one? Okay.
No. And the other thing, Bubba, is at least when I was in New Orleans, most of the shootings.
Badass.
Cool.
Thank you, Patrick Mahomie. We'll be getting a care package out to you. Go ahead, Dan. What now?
Most of the shootings when I was in New Orleans were cheap guns with cheap bullets, and a fully jacketed target round, when you shoot somebody with it, is like you might as well have just shot him with a bow and arrow. But a hollow point, it does so much more damage because as it expands, obviously it doubles its diameter.
So you're saying the quality of ammunition that you are potentially using to protect yourself, if you have a license to carry concealed weapon, or your state is an open carry and you have the availability to have a gun,
the bullet means everything
to protect yourself.
Right, the bullet is absolutely everything.
Don't go out. When you're at the range, buy some cheap ass bullets
all day long.
Buy the cheap bullets at the range, but when you're going to rack something up to protect your life, or to protect a bad guy from screwing with you and your life, buy that, hollow pointed,
high end,
high grain.
But no, I'm talking like the good stuff. The expensive one. They're really not some no name brand you never heard of.
Because you don't need a lot of them. Buy like 20 of them.
But two things. Number one, if you do that, you should, when you're at the range, shoot a couple of those rounds for two reasons. Number one, make sure your gun likes them. Because sometimes, hollow points will get stuck in certain guns. And the second reason is they're hotter. There's more recoil. You have to get used to that. So shoot 100 bullets of the target rounds, but shoot 5 or 6 with the good stuff to get used to it.
So you're saying the junk might be 85 grain and the good stuff might be 115 grain.
The gunpowder part.
It's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so that little bit of, that 20% or so better gunpowder on a lighter bullet is going to have a different feel than that junk stuff that you're running through there.
Yes, and you don't want the first time you shoot it to be the first time you've ever shot it.
Right, so run a few rounds, probably at the end of the day, run a few rounds through your gun of the good stuff, 2 or 3, 4, so that one, that it feels... And
the point of impact may be different. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're talking about maybe a different weight bullet with a different amount of gunpowder, and at 7-8 yards, it could be 2 inches off. Significantly off. But the other reason
that's why I like shotguns, because they don't, you can't miss with a shotgun.
Yeah, messy. But the other thing with the hollow point is, in addition to it, when it opens up and expands and increases that diameter, so it's essentially like a larger arrow going through, it's the shape. When you have a jacketed bullet and it goes next to something, a lot of times they'll just say, "Excuse me," and kind of bump right off of it. When a hollow point expands, it gets little sharp talons, and it rips.
And it just starts ripping stuff.
It rips everything.
So a junk bullet might just go right through you.
Yeah, it's like a little hole. So you might as well shot with an arrow.
And the bullet stays intact, and it just goes right through you.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you get a hollow pointed deal, it is the minute it hits the skin, it then fragments and or becomes double the size with jagged edges, and that's where you start tearing spleens, and that's when you
rip
start
apart your intestines.
Right. That's when you start doing stuff that doctors can't fix.
Right. And so when I would have bullet injuries, gunshot wounds in New Orleans, and we had them all the time. Literally 411 murders the last year I was there, most by guns, and there was probably about 1,500 gunshots a year in New Orleans before Hurricane Katrina. And if you got someone
most were survivable.
Oh, over 80%. Like I said, about 1 in 5 died. But those that had the jacketed bullets, you'd go in, you'd see the hole in the intestine, you'd literally just sew it up. If a hollow point hit that same intestine, you'd actually have to cut out the whole section. It wasn't reparable.
It's the difference between life and death.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to shoot a bad guy because he's in your house, or you're doing a stand your ground deal, and just whatever situation you may need to pull out your gun legally and defend yourself or protect yourself. Have some good bullets in there, good ammunition, because that makes all the world's a difference. Many were surprised to see Bill Belichick, let alone his 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, and Dunkin' Donuts commercial for the Super Bowl in 2025 this past February. The former cheerleader at Bridgewater State, I don't even know who does Bridgewater State even have an athletic program?
I hope so. I hope they don't just have cheerleaders cheering on nothing.
Cheerleaders cheering for nothing.
Yeah, that'd be tough. Maybe the debate team or something.
Yeah. Anyway, the former cheerleader, gold digger extraordinaire. Everybody seems she's got so much heat from this 60 Minutes interview where she stopped it on a couple different times. And one of the questions were, how did you and your girlfriend meet? And she stepped in and said, we're not going there.
They got a football team. They're Division 3.
So when Bill...
She said that, we're not going
Division
there?
3.
That's it?
Yeah.
Division 3.
Yeah.
So there's rumors now coming out that when he did his Java Jam Dunkin' Donuts 1-minute commercial for the Super Bowl with Ben and Casey Affleck and some other stars, successor actor Jeremy Strong, that she forced her way in, but Bill saw it as a way to get her paid, a sports source told Page 6. People have never seen anything like it. So not only did Bill get a payday for this commercial, and I'm going to play it, Lummy. I don't remember seeing her.
Welcome to Java
She was like
Jam.
standing next to him.
She was what?
She was like standing next to him.
Battle of the Coffee Brand Band.
This ain't the Dunkings. Where the hell are Matt and Tom?
Forget them suckers. Matt Damon and Tom Brady don't have the heart of a champion. We got a new squad, Dunkings sequel. Affleck and Belichick. Dunkings!
Oh, so that's her?
Yep.
So she writes herself. Is that the extent of what she does?
Yeah, she had no lines.
So did she just get paid as an extra?
I bet you she got paid. Right? Seth something.
Oh, she definitely.
A little more spirit on the, on the charge next time. All right. We got a fourth thing.
And Seth like a full ISO on her. Like that's a full ISO.
Well, which I thought was odd at the time, just because I thought Bill Belichick was really, coming out with this relationship, and just being a girlfriend, putting her in a commercial, I think was at least interesting at the time. But now that we're learning more about Jordan, it seems as though
makes it creepier, doesn't it?
Bill has no say in the matter.
Bill, I think, is I think he's a simp. I think he used to be an alpha, and now he's a beta.
It happens when you start dating a 24-year-old.
I don't know, man. It can't be that good. It can't be that good to completely lose your balls, to completely get deballed. I mean, right?
Yeah, but he may be, to you he may be deballed, but he's still Bill Belichick. He's still a multi-millionaire, and he's sporting around with a girl that blows away all his friends' girls. So I don't. Listen. If he's having fun, God bless him. We don't criticize.
Have fun.
We don't criticize anyone for what they do in the bedroom. It's their business as long as it's two consenting adults. She's an adult.
I think, but we're just a little bit taken back by the fact that Bill's laying down and letting her make all the decisions, and that's so not what he's built the whole Bill Belichick brand on.
But is he really, or is he just kind of being cool about it and not really worrying about it?
I mean, when you're doing a 60-minute interview and she says stop.
No,
we're
that's
not
different.
going there.
That's different.
When I'm doing, listen, never in all the years of me doing interviews and all the women that I've been with, one, I don't take them to my interviews.
Exactly.
One, I don't take my significant other to my interviews. One. Two, if I did take her and she interrupted and stopped,
you'd kill her.
I'm not saying.
Right, I understand. You'd be incensed. So who do you think really lost their testicles worse, him or oh my God, the guy from Saturday Night Live that does the
all right.
What's that?
With the Spanish girl? It's not really Spanish. Not the Spanish.
Oh no,
drawing a blank on him.
We got a fourth thing, King. Two coming.
Clooney's wife.
George
Clooney's Saturday Night Live.
He's not Saturday Night Live, but George Clooney's wife. The girl thinks she's Spanish. I was thinking of Alec Baldwin. I'm sorry. I have 2 hours of sleep.
Let's try to get through this.
Okay.
By the way, you didn't need 2 hours of sleep because I offered you.
I know.
Not to come in.
I know.
I said you guys are going to be. Let me. Is that her owner? Is that her own? No, I think she comes back.
Dumb King about to get roasted. Like a dark seasonal roast with coriander and slight balsamic drizzle.
Sounds like what's in my garbage disposal.
See you, coach. How much to wait a half hour to get my name spelled wrong on the cup?
Nobody wants a goat milk double half calf soy milk cap. You could just brew it. It's beans and water.
Oh, damn. Listen, Dunkin's for all of yous. America runs on Dunkin'.
Just thank God she didn't have a speaking role. Just thank
She just had a looking role.
Bill Belichick explores hiring an outside public relations firm to help, even though much of the PR damage has already been done. Supposedly, Bill Belichick has hired a public relations firm to, I don't know. So I don't know.
I think she's been running PR for him because she's in charge.
I think he hired her firm.
Well, she's in charge of like Belichick Productions or whatever he has going on.
Yeah. So do you think that the University of North Carolina has to report to
I didn't think about that.
like her, like they have a PR?
A lot goes through her.
Oh yeah, a lot of bills copy you mop. Just telling you.
Yeah. Sure.
I've never seen it this bad. Where 8 times and I don't know that there'll be if that'll ever be beaten. Anybody that's won 8 Super Bowls. Any coach, I don't know.
Let's see if he can win the PapaJohns.com Bowl this year. It's in trouble.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com.
Right now.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
And
Ike Baldwin's wife is hilarious.
in a guy's first season,
Ike Baldwin's wife.
you're not been able to establish your draft class.
Well, nobody really knows if he's capable of coaching
College kids.
Kids, yeah.
Are they?
That chick might be there to help recruit, though. Who knows?
Maybe some head.
I mean, it could be. I don't know. I don't know what Bill's into, but he could be into getting good recruits.
I don't know.
Say, let me head.
Any crazy recruits?
Head.
That's not good head. The recruiting numbers are down.
Ghost profiles pass is funny. So, Con Bowling.
$10,000 holding strong. Hi everybody on Rumble. This is when we go. We actually have 5 minutes and 20 seconds that we break away for the affiliates, the terrestrial affiliates, to run their commercials, and so this is when we eat and fuck around. Sometimes say dirty words, and you get kind of the exclusive behind the scenes access gimmick here. Same with YouTube. Same with everywhere else we're at. I need to go see over YouTube. How's my YouTubers holding strong?
So I'm stuck in Dion's toe.
Have you hit the like button, guys? Yes, 707. B-Dog, Grumpy Old Biker, GR. Hello. Catherine Patterson.
Those profiles pass.
Mitch. CC Hall. Grumpy Old Biker, Kenny Piz Hours.
Hey, Grumpy Old Biker lost his father 2 weeks ago, so condolences to you, buddy.
Let's come back with that. Snook Slayer. Uncle Murray.
I'll be back in 1 minute.
Ghost Pasts. Let's keep us over 10K. So Seth figured we'd do the Trump cartel gimmick.
Okay.
Into the Trump Alcatraz gimmick.
Oh yeah.
Into the point, and now that we're up in end of day Portnoy, I figured we hit that. Works for me.
Did you give me $20?
Iggy's got the money today. Iggy's rumble ranting.
He's a rant fool.
Yeah, give this. Lummy, we need to tell the rumble people.
Hit the thumbs up too.
Yeah. Thumbs up, motherfucker. Maybe we need Gary or Mach to put have you thumbs up?
Well, he has a pinned message up on the Rumble.
I thought I was going to see you on Friday, Lummy, but you kind of did me dirty.
Oh, I thought when I talked to Macho, you seemed pretty slammed.
See if we can keep this bitch over 10K. On Rizzumble. Uh-oh. Looks like we slid, Lummy. We were on the number 1, now we're at 4.
On the front?
Yeah, let me show you. They slid us to 4.
Oh.
Because it looks like Live with Julie, she's all that in a bag of chips. The little girl's got 24K.
Well, she's religious.
Well, they need to have us, I mean, you know, they better keep us in that top. Oh, yeah, so let's reset. See it, say 11,000 views.
Yeah.
See it?
Yep.
Perfect.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Appreciate all the experts out there that are telling us how to do it. Your opinions are appreciated. You can always write the show at BubbaArmyHQ.com, including Lummy. That's how we got the information with the guy that had the Bubba Army flag in the Sacramento deal.
Yes, it is.
So thank you. Bubba Army merch, Bubba Army shop, or Bubba Army store. One-stop shopping with all of our Bubba Army merchandise, including the Fat Man Dunk 3 Jordan-inspired high tops that are only available today at noon. And also the Full Trucker Effect t-shirts, which I'm extending now till Friday.
Great.
Trump, I guess, I love this actually. Seth and I were talking about this. So somebody asked Trump something to do with the Mexican cartels. This is obviously on Air Force One. And, you'd think they'd have Air Force One a little bit more insulated because it always sounds real airplane-y, but maybe you can't get airplane-y out of airplanes.
Well, I think it's where they put the media.
They put them like in the cargo bin.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're like in the back.
So like in
underneath.
So like in Trump's office, it's probably well insulated, so it's not so airplane-y, right?
Right.
Or where he would lay down and sleep. I think Air Force One has a full-blown bedroom.
Oh, it does.
Hold
a
on.
Bathroom.
Hold on. You know what they also have? Air Force One also has a full-blown operating room.
Mm-hmm.
They have blood. Mm-hmm. They have the president's blood.
Don't they always travel with his blood?
Always.
Yeah, always. Platelets, plasma, whole blood.
A doctor. There's a doctor there.
Actually, several.
Yeah.
So, ready. So anyway.
And you all say, Carrie? Everything that's ever broken on that plane, they fix it and they put a spare in the plane. Every time something has happened to that plane, if they didn't have a spare, they add a spare to that plane. That plane is filled with spare parts.
Well, what you also don't realize about Air Force One, I just saw a thing on it a few years ago, is that Air Force Two, they have two. By the way, they have two of these planes that are identical. They're 100% identical, and Air Force Two is completely, it mirrors and completely is ready to go. Now, somebody told me that they fly it like an hour or two behind Air Force One. I don't know if I believe that.
Well, Air Force One is the president's plane. Whichever plane he's in, they call sign Air Force One.
Like if he was on our old Cessna 18,
that would become Air Force One.
Right. Whatever airplane or like now I think
the helicopter's Marine One.
Yes. So any airplane, if Donald Trump would say, I'm going to take my airplane this weekend, which he wouldn't because it'd be expensive, but that would be considered. It takes his tail number completely would not be in factor. He would be on Air Force One, but They do have an identical matching plane, a 747 Supermax 8, whatever the hell it is, that is identical to this. And when they get ready to go, they even cater it the same.
I sent you like a blueprint of Air Force One, so you can kind of see where the press is.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
Okay,
the wings.
But here's the deal, Dan. Like when they're getting ready to go somewhere, and let's say they needed 500 pounds of pork chops, and because I think they do feed the press, and they do take good care. I mean, I think that they.
It's got to be an honor to fly with the president,
right?
You got to be like the top of the game in the press.
But they stock the same food on the backup plane as they do. Think about how much waste that is. Think about how much waste that is. So, like, if you're on Air Force, if Donald Trump's on this plane and the backup plane to this one, which is Air Force 2, it is ready to go for any type of emergency. We got to make a last minute switcheroo. It has totally everything prepared so that there's no changing at all, including the food, the drink, the meals. Everything is on the other planes ready to go. And a lot of time, I don't know that it travels behind him. There was always a myth that when he traveled on Air Force One, his backup plane sometimes would fly in before him or sometimes fly in after him. Now, will somebody look that up and see if that's a truth or not? Because that seems really expensive. And the other thing, Dan, what people don't realize is once he lands somewhere, they bring in their own fuel.
Smart.
Because the way that a terrorist or somebody that wanted to do bad things would tamper with his fuel.
Right. A friend of mine died with the wrong fuel or bad fuel. It's critical.
In this documentary that I saw on Air Force One, like 3 days, 4 days, a week before he goes to where his destination is, the Secret Service and Army Corps of Engineers and whatever bring in a tanker full of fuel for his plane, and then it's guarded 24/7 until he gets there, and guarded until they refuel him and then leave. So, like, no stones unturned. The other thing that they said is that you'll only ever see the left side of the plane because the right side of the plane is where his living quarters are. And if anybody was to take shots at the plane, because when it comes to Tampa, it'll sit right out there. Somebody could probably get close enough to take a couple shots at the plane with a high powerful rifle. You will never see the other side of the plane, the co-captain side of the plane. Very rarely do they expose that to the media. Lummy, are you looking to see if? Because I was always told that the backup plane travels with, just in case. Anyway, it looks
like there is a backup, including a backup VC-25 cargo aircraft and tankers follow.
Well, now hold on.
Air Force
See
One.
the tankers. That's for all of his support ground. And
the cars.
And the bulletproof Escalades and all that. That's what comes in. With those tankers and things. I just didn't know if they flew an identical.
They call it a backup VC-25. That's what they call it.
So that's his plane.
Yeah,
which is identical to this plane, and I think they just hide it somewhere.
Yeah, I guess Reagan bought two.
So that, or maybe they landed at another airport somewhere. I don't know. Listen to how airplane-y that is. You'd think that, man, the area that Donald's going to go address the press would have a little bit better acoustics, right?
Yeah.
Mexico is saying that I offered to send U.S. troops into Mexico to take care of the cartel. She wants to know, is that true?
All right, so Donald just said she wants to know. A reporter just asked me that Mexico's reporting that he offered to send U.S. troops to go in and take care of the cartel.
Do you think I'm going to answer that question? That's why I'm asking. We'll see. I will answer it.
Even the biggest Trump hater will laugh at the fact that he says, "You think I'm going to answer that question?" Almost putting like a negative feel on it, right? And then he goes, "You're damn right I'm going to answer that question."
It's true. Absolutely. Because they should be.
He said, absolutely. So are we now sending U.S. troops to Mexico to help round up these cartel guys?
I thought they passed on the offer.
Yeah, Mexico passed on it.
They did?
Yeah, because they don't want to round them up because they're all in it with him.
Right.
They're all crooked.
They don't. Mexico says no because they don't want to really round them up.
Nope.
Because the heads of these cartels who are multi-billion. I mean, we've seen
multi-billionaires.
We've seen footage of them making some of these busts, and literally the size of this studio, which is what, Lummy, what would you say is probably 30 by 50? 30 by 40?
That's about 60 over there.
Yeah.
Probably 40 by 60?
I'd say 40 by 60.
I've seen that they have rooms
70.
that are bigger than this studio, completely jammed full of 20, 50s, and 100s.
Yes.
Really?
Clear to the sky.
Yep.
Like a cash room?
Yes. Yeah. And like they have so much cash that like it doesn't even like they don't even put it over. Like they're like, yeah, that's a cash room. And so because these heads of cartels are paying off the president, they're paying off that local police official.
Everybody. They're paying everybody
They're paying off that local police officer. They're paying off that local drug task force.
They're all crooked.
You know what? They potentially could be paying off Americans.
Yes. Yes.
Horrible people that have been killing people left and right, they've made a fortune on selling drugs and destroying our people. We lost 300,000 people last year to fentanyl and drugs. They're bad news. Yeah, that's true. If Mexico wanted help with the cartels, we would be honored to go in and do it. I told her that. I would be honored to go in.
By the way, I told her that because let's not forget the head of Mexico is a woman. The president of Mexico is a woman. Mm-hmm. And Trump said, we're willing to help.
Do it. The cartels are trying to destroy our country. They're evil. And, we had 300,000 people die last year from fentanyl and all of that.
Bubba, stop for that for a second. So people may be critical of us having some kind of military involvement with Mexico. And if you think about, 300,000 people died from fentanyl. Say you take the Mexican part out of it. It's still maybe 100,000. So let's say 200,000 people died because of Mexican fentanyl. We spent 10 or 15 years in the Middle East and lost thousands of lives because 3,000 people died on September 11th. And so we were 200,000.
And we were involved in a 20-year war.
20-year war that cost $1 trillion.
Right.
And
really didn't even really go after the right people.
Right. It was a weird proxy war almost. It was bizarre. And yet you have literally Mexico encouraging almost the cartels to funnel drugs. It's not just fentanyl. It's cocaine and pot too. And I got, again, everyone's like soft on pot now, which is fine. I don't have a problem with marijuana at all. But let's not just forget the cocaine that's coming through, which also is a bad drug for people to do long term. And the fentanyl, which is killing our kids. Even kids that don't do fentanyl, it's finding its way into all kinds of things.
You should have a problem on pot because if all this pot from Mexico is coming in, then it's hurting the states and places that have allowed pot.
Yeah, but the sympathy for the state, do you really have sympathy for that? I mean, I think people that have this.
If you stop one, you stop it all.
Well,
so I'm just saying, like, if you stop a particular cartel, you're not stopping their cocaine business.
You're stopping all of it.
You're stopping all of it.
Right.
So when you stop one, and I'll take stopping the two really bad ones, the cocaine and the fentanyl, and so the pot stops too.
Yeah, but we also, someone brought up in chat, and it's a good point, that we protect the poppy fields in Afghanistan.
We do. We protect them.
We protect them, and we allow those drugs to be made. So we're kind of hypocritical in a sense, but the fentanyl coming out of Mexico is really hurting people, and a lot of it's made in China. And so, to be really intellectually honest,
is it cheap, and is that why they cut stuff with it? Because it's so
cheap. It's also so potent; it doesn't require a lot of physical space. It's easy to move it because it's so powerful.
So, what would a kilo of fentanyl? You know what a kilo?
It's 2.2 pounds.
I understand, but do they take that and just cut it up into everything? Everything.
But a kilo of fentanyl could kill an entire state almost. You know what I mean?
I think a kilo of fentanyl could kill the entire world.
It's so powerful.
Don't they say that raw fentanyl, like an eraser tip full of raw fentanyl, will kill 10 people?
Probably.
The
real strongest, especially the sufentanil.
Now, what is fentanyl? Like, okay, hold on. Heroin is derived from poppy.
Right.
Cocaine is derived from the cocoa leaf.
Mm-hmm.
Marijuana from the marijuana leaf plant. What's fentanyl?
It's a synthetic opiate. It's man-made opiate. So it's man-made.
So it's like a man-made Percocet.
Yeah.
So it's but they make it into a powder.
Well, they make it into a powder that's reconstituted into a solution. But yes, it comes in a powder.
And like when we were growing, like when did fentanyl become a thing? Because like it seems like, in the 80s they were fighting cocaine and crack, and they've always been fighting weed. When did fentanyl become a thing?
It wasn't invented until about 20 years ago, so recently.
Well, it says the original fentanyl was created in the late 50s, 59.
It wasn't commercially used until about 20, 25 years ago.
Approved for medical use in the United States in 1968.
Now, Dan, is it?
That was the original version. Then there was a stronger version that came out in the 90s, which is what was really bad because it was literally like 100 times more potent than the original fentanyl.
Now, is fentanyl is used medically, is it not?
Every day.
I mean, like
every patient that I operate on, almost all of them get some version of fentanyl during their anesthesia.
And that was more the anesthesiologist's jam, right? That's not your jam. That's his jam.
Yeah, I don't touch it.
So what I'm saying is like controlled fentanyl, medical fentanyl, that's made by, I'm assuming, the medical companies, the pharma, the big...
Like Baxter or something like that.
Big pharma, right?
You know what, Bubba? Next time I'm in surgery, I'll ask the anesthesiologist to show me the bottle of fentanyl and see who's making it and stuff like that, and I'll show you how potent it is.
So what I'm saying is, though, fentanyl is made legally.
Yes.
I mean, and used... And
illegally.
And used legally and by doctors.
And mostly anesthesiologists or people like in ICUs.
So the fentanyl that's coming across the border is not pharmaceutical grade or controlled under those guidelines. It's just raw ass fentanyl. So you really don't know what type of fentanyl you're getting when you go to get when your wife goes to get new breasts from Dan, and Dan's anesthesiologist uses fentanyl to put you to sleep. He obviously knows the quality of fentanyl, where he got it from, the chain of command, where it came from under medical conditions. But that stuff that's crossing the border, you have no idea, right? You don't know. It's the Wild West on one, potency, two, chain of command, who made it, what's it made out of, what's the baking soda to fentanyl ratio, because I'm sure they're cutting fentanyl with something.
Oh, absolutely. They have to.
I mean, you're not giving
it's too potent not to cut it.
Right. And where's the biggest fentanyl producer? Like who?
China.
China is.
China.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like the craze started when they started coming out with fentanyl patches in 2014.
And then they used to have like fentanyl lollipops.
Yeah, they were putting those in the military.
Fentanyl lollipops?
Yeah, in case like the IEDs or if they had something, they would give them the lollipop.
So if you get your leg blown off, they give you a lollipop?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Bob, someone on chat said, Pippi Shortstroker said that a kilogram of fentanyl has the potential to kill 500,000 people, 500,000 people.
Well, Dan, what's so that's a kilo?
2.2 pounds.
So a kilo can kill 500,000 people.
That's what they're saying. I bet it's even higher than that. It's so powerful.
In closing, before I go, because I'm gonna cover the Dave Portnoy anti-Semitic scandal next. But Trump's just full of all kinds of great ideas. He wants to reopen Alcatraz.
Oh.
I got to think that reopening Alcatraz would be an absolute disaster because one of the reasons why they closed Alcatraz was the supply chain of getting stuff out there. It was so expensive. You know, you just can't have a semi pull up to the, you know, like in regular prisons, they obviously have strict gates and controls and stuff like that, but they get all their supplies, you know, everything from food to, you know, laundry to just anything that a prison would need has, is probably arrives by truck. Well, you know, in 1962 or 63, when they closed Alcatraz, one of the reasons why they closed was it was so expensive to have to ship and barge everything out there.
Really?
Yes, that's one of the reasons why they closed it. So, like, I think this is kind of stupid. I think Trump needs to pick his battles a little bit better. Like, this is...
So what do you think's more important, reopening Alcatraz or buying, like, Greenland?
Neither.
Or Iceland?
Neither. I think stopping the war in Iraq and I think stopping the war in Ukraine and getting some type of handle on the Israel conflict is way more important than the reopening of Alcatraz and owning Greenland.
He wants Greenland. He talked about it again in the
Canada too. He wants them too.
Latest interview.
I watched the Meet the Press deal. And as much as I like some of the things that he just comes across as like just a narcissistic prick.
Trump?
Yeah.
No, sometimes he does. I agree.
It's just like, enough. It's like almost stop the shtick. Just be the badass that you are and stop. It's not always about, the only thing that I watched the entire Meet the Press thing yesterday. And the only thing that I liked is that he stopped the rumors of him running for 2028. He's like, legally I can't. There's a lot of people that want me to try to do it. There's a lot of people that want me to try to do it, but I just can't. I just would rather set up the country with a real good alternative. Maybe J.D. Vance is that guy. Maybe somebody else is that guy. But, you know, so that was the only thing that he was actually somewhat humble about. We're not going to make Canada our 51st state. We're not going to take over Greenland.
Mm.
And you know what? Opening up Alcatraz, what's that going to do?
It's useless.
It's useless. Do you know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to tear the complete facility completely down to nothing because it's all just dilapidated and, you know, it's just, you could never put, you know, prisoners, even the worst prisoners have rights. You have human rights, don't you? I mean, you know, you have rights not to be in a cockroach infested, you know, I think you got a little bit of, I think you do, Dan. I mean, I think there's rules on how you can. Now, listen, when we I'm all for it. Let's keep shipping them to El Salvador.
And not worry about them.
We don't need to build. I mean, we don't need to build Alcatraz. We don't need Canada to be the 51st state.
But what are you going to do? It's just sitting there, Bubba.
We don't. You know what? It's one of the largest. It's one of the most attended natural. It is a national monument that makes a ton of money.
Canada?
Yeah. No, Alcatraz.
Oh.
Alcatraz is one of the largest monuments that makes the most money. It's a natural tourist attraction that's owned by the federal government.
Closed due to its high operating costs, but tonight President Donald Trump says he has new plans for one of the Bay Area's most notorious historical landmarks, Alcatraz Island.
The president says he is directing his administration.
Wolfhound 227, you guys need to wake up. Not when you've committed crimes against humanity. You're right. Ship them to El Salvador. We have a new agreement where we can ship our guys and pay less per year than what it costs us to house a criminal.
Yeah, right now Alcatraz, if they were to fix it up, would cost between $235 to $370 million.
Yeah,
and operating costs would be like $60 million.
Yeah, and how much does it make now? It doesn't cost us nothing now as a tourist attraction. It probably makes a little money.
But would you rather have 5 Alcatrazes or a new Rays stadium?
Well.
Rays Stadium.
Yeah, no doubt.
To reopen,
I'd rather keep Alcatraz as a national tour, museum, and send all of our really bad guys. Let's make Guantanamo Bay a little bit more rugged.
Yeah, and the thing about Guantanamo Bay is
we have our own place.
it has a huge facility for it. It's set up for it already.
Yeah. Let's make Guantanamo Bay a little rougher, and let's keep shipping you down to El Salvador at $30,000 a criminal.
It makes about $60 million a year.
Hold on. So, Dan, this place as a tourist attraction, a national park, makes $60 million a year. So we're going to lose that money and spend $300 million with a $60 million upkeep. So that what? We can say that we have the most hardened criminals to Alcatraz when we have two other alternatives. One, is in Guantanamo Bay, which was pre-existing.
And they're not making $60 million a year in tourism.
No.
Guantanamo Bay.
No.
No one goes there. And what's a safer place for a bad guy? Guantanamo or Alcatraz? People can swim now.
And secondly, we have a deal in place with El Salvador.
Right.
El Salvador's like, man, for $30,000, send us your badasses. We want them. We're in the badass business.
Right.
And I think it takes us I think that's like a $10,000 savings on what it costs us to house a bad guy.
And expand the prison. And once it's rebuilt, he wants...
See, Trump gets down, okay, so this.
You think it's just a distraction take from other stuff?
This is stupid. Greenland is stupid. Canada being the 51st state is stupid.
And the nation's
Panama's
most violent.
not stupid, though, Bubba. Just we talk about these other things that you think are stupid. And I think Greenland is probably unnecessary. Alcatraz doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I'm even getting rid of the story.
Panama is not stupid.
Did you hear me did I put Panama in the stupid category?
No, but we were talking about like things he's done.
Us taking back Panama is what we should do.
Right, and Pippi Shortstroker says that sounds like Putin, but it doesn't because we
built it.
Created Panama. The whole country we built.
We built the Panama Canal, and stupid-ass Jimmy Carter had a chance to redo the lease, and we signed a 99-year lease. It was due during the Carter administration. There was like a re-up kicker, and he gave the Panama Canal back to Panama. And I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars a year it makes, but it makes and it should be ours.
Well, again, Panama was Colombia. And Teddy Roosevelt put the Navy around what is now Panama, encouraged a revolt. They separated from Colombia, formed their own nation called Panama, all because America gave them that opportunity to do that. And in return, that's why they gave us and helped us, build the Panama Canal. Panama would not exist as a country, let alone the canal, but the country itself would not exist if it weren't for America.
Fish in the J25, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App at the Bubba Army. 813-90-BUBBA. I see a few phone lines flashing. I'll maybe get to those momentarily. And the Dave Portnoy stuff next.
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
They had OSHA. Well, those guys eating lunches on the girders of the World Trade Center 100 years ago, that shit wouldn't happen today. No, but they'll tell them. I get nervous when guys walk on my roof. Imagine.
Your roof is like
a lot of pitch to it.
Yeah.
Everything.
Really? That's pretty sweet. Is it 6 months now? No.
Plus 6 plus. If we take over Greenland, it does sound like Putin. I agree with that one. Maybe Panama's our Crimea. One Island. Good morning. Xerxes 69. Yinzer. Over the line. Good morning. Yeah, I agree with Scott Starboard. They said it was stupid back in the 60s, 1860s. And it's so much resources. Magnum. Hi, Jay. Good morning, buddy. Oh, really? What's up, Jeff Pearson? Perm Grom. Ugh. Thanks, Glenn Lockberg.
I don't have any problem with it.
Okay. So I'm not going straight to my office after this and going back home. I don't think I start office until like 1 o'clock today. Okay. In case I had a problem getting back from Miami, I didn't want to have to cancel everything.
I mean, I'm going to be pumping in between shows, Lummy. So ask him if he wants to get on the shoulder press with me.
Oh, okay. Are you working out between shows?
Yeah.
You been consistent about that?
Yeah.
It's good for you.
Yeah, and going to the Y and stuff.
Johnny Bradley. Luggage. Buy him a tutor. Why are you always asking me to buy him a tutor? I don't understand. Tony Peters and someone else keeps telling me to buy you a Tudor watch, which is like a Rolex. Oh, no. Don't buy me a watch. I don't understand why they keep bringing it up, and specifically Tudor. Doesn't make sense. 3 things going here. Yeah, DJ Brown 941. I don't disagree with you there. Flood City. Thank you. Chip Jones. Hey, Bubba, Jarvis, my co-pilot on Rumble, said maybe you should introduce the 4 corners or the 4 squares of who everybody is.
What?
When we get back online.
Why fucks, man?
Because you have 8,000 to 11,000 people that aren't normally familiar with it, and you may want to just go through everybody. They said,
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show. 813-90 Bubba, if you'd like to call in.
We put the number up there too.
Oh, fantastic.
It's on the screen now.
If you're watching us on Rumble, thank you. We've cut a new deal with Rumble where we're going to get a little more exposure. Thank you for that. Give us a thumb up on that. Let me, for 8,000 people, we probably should have more than 152 thumbs up.
Oh yeah, you got to teach. You got to teach the Rumblers that you got to hit the thumbs up like they're YouTubers.
My name is Bubba the Love Sponge. I'm the host. Below me is Dr. Dan Diaco. He's here Monday and Tuesdays. At 8:30, he gets relieved by his brother, his younger brother, whose name's Jay Diaco. He's an attorney. They fight. They get along pretty well.
You don't fight much.
J-Law Bronco and Ancient Art Acupuncture Largo on Rumble.
Thank you.
The rants.
Then up on the upper right, underneath the call 813-90 Bubba, is a guy named Lummy, better known as Lummox. He's 6'6", and he looks like Brutus from Popeye. He takes care of the goats. He's the executive producer. He's the resident slow guy, but he's not slow. He just acts slow. Down below on your lower right is Seth Kushner. He's a longtime radio journeyman, if you will. He likes all type. He loves the.
He's like that quarterback.
Well, no, he's like
the guy with the 14 teams.
No, he's not a backup quarterback. He's right there. He's like I'm
a bitch.
I'm trying to think.
Kelly Brown, $70 on the Super.
You're not a bitch.
I'm a snowflaking bitch.
Except I like that hand and mouth action.
Well, I felt like it was my time to shine when he called me.
I'm a snowflaking bitch.
I felt like I needed to do something.
Chicago Bear fans, Chicago White Sox fan, and a snowflaking bitch.
Thank you.
Although he's not. He's and when I'm gone, he'll host the show. So
he's bigger in real life than you can. He doesn't look as big as he is. Like he's a big guy.
Yeah, he's about 6'1".
Yeah.
He's about 6.5. 210. Pretty solid.
Yeah, a lot of muscle.
Yeah. Big, fairly large penis.
Mm-hmm.
Getting back on top. Monetarily wise, has a lovely wife and child. The all-American dream. Hello.
Good morning, Bubba.
Hi.
Mike from Lithia. Congratulations on the Rumble.
Thank you.
Situation.
Appreciate that. It's worked out well so far. We hit I think we were at 11,000 at one time today.
Yes, we were.
Good to hear and good to see. A couple of things. Did you see where Trump wanted to be the Pope? Where he posted a picture of himself as the Pope?
Yeah, like
It's a joke, man.
that's still. I don't think the president needs to be doing jokes.
Some Cardinals or something aren't happy about it.
Some Cardinals are full hot on the deal.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, I mean, like that. See, I like Trump, and I like I like his immigration policy. I'm a little bit hesitant on. I think he could have done tariffs a little bit different. I like his deportation of bad guys. I like a lot of things that he's doing. I think he was the better of the two choices. But then once he gets in, he turns into like a little narcissistic prick. And he like four things that he's doing right now that I think makes him look dumb is I think that saying that Canada is going to be our 51st state, stupid, never going to happen. Saying that we're going to own Greenland. Never going to happen. Now, listen, we could increase our military base presence there.
He said it's crucial for international security.
Then let's get more
multinational defenses.
Then let's get more a bigger presence of military. The Alcatraz deal, the Pope deal. If he would just shut up about some of this stupid fringe stuff that doesn't matter, he'd be one hell of a president. He really would.
I agree, Bubba. Secondly, if I could, maybe the Rumble people need to know about Dr. Dan's specialty, his perfection.
Well, today's our first day back. I don't want to, but I think organically it'll come out. But I could tell him right now, Dr. Dan Diaco, which is in your lower left quadrant. He's a doctor and a lawyer. He's my age. He is recognized as one of the best plastic surgeons in the state of Florida, if not the entire country. And he does some of the best breast augmentations a person could ever see or feel. And in Tampa, Florida, if a nice set of boobs, even if Dan didn't do them, are considered Diacos. It's kind of a territorial thing, but yes, if you and your buddy are walking down the beach or wherever and you see a chick that's got a really nice rack, and somebody else, she might not even be from here, you could turn to him and say that, boy, look at the Diacos on her, and not necessarily get in trouble and be conceived as a heathen, because a lot of people don't know what you're talking about.
I'm privileged enough to have a set of those to play around with on the side.
All right, so you got a set. So you have a set that you have access to.
Correct.
Right. I've been very, very brand loyal with Dan. So all the sets since 1997 that I've taken around the farm has been his work. I've probably really partaken in a lot more of his work than even him.
Bubba Army discount as well.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
I don't know if this is.
We give all listeners an extensive discount. Yes. Thank you for the Bubba Army.
This guy's.
We support you guys.
I think Jay. I think Steve may have saw this guy this weekend at Union, and Rip Whip gave him a $100 bill to call in for a Dan Diaco full blown endorsement deal.
Hey, Bubba, I'm not doing it. It's just organically, man. It's an amazing thing. Been a long-time listener. It's just phenomenal what he can do with a set.
Yes. He's
phenomenal.
He's got the hands of an angel when it comes to throwing some knockers on your chick. Yes, he does.
I'm going to let you go. Self-edit. Thank you.
He's also a lawyer, too. He works on boobs and asses and faces and...
Can take a deposition.
And then at, 3 o'clock, takes off his medical scrubs, puts on a suit, and will depose you.
He also is now doing A&R for Sony Music and discovering new bands.
How is the car?
He's now an A&R guy, Seth proclaims, and he's going down to Miami Beach rooftop Australian 3-band quartets and wanting them to sign them to full-blown deals. So Dave Portnoy, former owner of Barstool Sports, I think he sold to a huge hedge fund.
No, he got it back.
Yeah, he got it back for like $1 or something.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
So, but he made a ton on the initial sale, did he not?
Yeah, he doesn't stop making a ton of money at all.
So he got it back. Now, did he get rid of Erica Farber?
Was that the CEO?
Yeah, she was the girl that was running it.
She left a long time ago.
Okay, I thought that him and her still kind of got along, and having a female CEO was a good look. But nonetheless, so he got who was the company? It wasn't a gambling company or something that bought him. There was a major company that bought Barstool, and I think that Portnoy got like $68 million or something, with the chance if they defaulted on various things he could get it back, and I think he got it back, like Seth said, for $1.
Wow.
And so he is the head of Barstool. Everybody knows who he is. Of course, Dave Portnoy, as a talent, is most noted for his pizza review, where he goes into various cities and he orders a pizza anonymously, and then goes and picks it up, and it's just one bite. Everybody knows the rules.
It was Penn Entertainment bought Barstool.
Okay, and then what happened? Can you give me the fall?
I'm trying to find.
I think then Penn Entertainment put.
Well, they struck a $1.5 billion deal with ESPN, and I think the ESPN hates Barstool.
So then Penn had to shed Barstool in order to keep its ESPN gimmick?
Yes.
Is that how it worked?
It looks like they sold Barstool back. I'm trying to see what the price was, but it looks like Portnoy bought it back
for $1. That's what people are saying.
Yeah. Let me see.
Penn Entertainment or Penn Media bought Barstool for, did you say 1.5? 1.5?
Well, no, 1.5 is what ESPN did. They bought it for $388 million.
All right, so Penn Entertainment bought Dave Portnoy's Barstool Sports for $350-some million.
$388 million.
$388 million. And at that point, I think Portnoy was still kept on in an advisory or presidential type role or something like that. Right? Like they just didn't tell him, get lost, we own your company now. I think they kept him on, and he had a role in managing, what he built. And let's not forget, Barstool Sports, I think, started out as like a paper in Boston.
Really?
Yeah, he ran. And it looks like, he bought it back from Penn, according to legal filings, for $1.
Yes. So you're saying that Penn then, in owning Barstool Sports, they got an opportunity to do a deal with ESPN. ESPN wants to buy Penn for $1.5 billion, but they didn't like the Barstool deal, so they made Penn shed the Barstool deal?
Yeah.
Well,
what a deal for Portnoy.
Right.
So Portnoy gets it back. And by the way, I love his pizza review. His pizza review will absolutely make or break a complete pizza place. We've seen it. Not that Jeff Giragante needed any help, but when Dave Portnoy came to Tampa, he reviewed Forbici's pizza. Now, Forbici's kind of got a different kind of pizza. It's like a rectangular, long kind of deal. I've had it at Steve's before, his takeout. And so Portnoy went and ordered a Forbici pizza, gave it a great review, and Steve tells me that Jeff tells him that it increased his pizza sales by 300%.
Wow. That's incredible.
Like you can't even get, sometimes like it's an hour wait for takeout and I think Jeff Gigante had to, like, in the kitchen part, Dan, revamp his kitchen to just make pizzas based on Portnoy going and giving them a thumbs up.
That's amazing.
So Portnoy owns Barstool again, and they also own a restaurant or a night. It's a nightclub. It's a bar/nightclub. And now, is it New York City, Seth?
I think it's in Philly.
In Philly. So Portnoy.
Oh, Jay's here.
Oh, okay, cool. Hi, Karate.
Hi.
You recovering from the F1 experience as well?
No recovery necessary.
Dan's a little bit rough today. Dan said that you guys found a new band on Saturday night, and you guys are all new hipsters now, and are big fans of this band.
I thought it was an excellent show, and Dan had the wrong song that we listened to. But yeah, it's
the wrong song.
I think "On Your Knees" would probably have been a better song for the.
I didn't choose a song.
I'm just saying.
Well, Jay, I did choose a song, and Dan said, "On Your Knees" is what they sang and went crazy with, but I couldn't find "On Your Knees." So Dan said, I do think "Pressure" was one of the songs they also sang.
Anyone 18 to 30 right now knows exactly who this band is. It's one of the biggest acts in the world, like literally.
For real?
For real. They were just here a week ago, less than a week ago, at the amphitheater, sold out. They're a huge show.
So anyway, for the 6,759 people that we got potentially on Rumble, this is Dr. Dan, who you've been spending all morning with. This is his brother, younger brother, but it's also his boss too. Mm-hmm. So Dan's the boss of Plastic Surgery USA, but when it comes to Diaco Law USA,
Jay's the boss.
Guy on the left. Yeah, hold on. Even Dan say it.
Jay's the boss.
Clip that. Clip that. Save that. Put it on a button.
And that's the only context, though.
He is the boss, though, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Has he ever had to remind you of that legally?
He hasn't remind me of it, but it's obvious when we discuss stuff that he has. He's got 20 years on me of experience. It's not even close.
Well, yeah, I know. So and you are smart enough to know what battles to pick.
Right. Yes, I try not to pick.
If it was like maybe a medical kind of deal. And Jay was you could maybe come a little bit more, a little bit
He'll
more.
speak up.
Yeah.
I do. Absolutely. And then, the thing with medical is, a lot of lawyers know some medicine. And Jay is really good with medicine, but almost all of them invariably pronounce the words wrong.
Right.
And that's when they show that, they don't know what they're talking about.
Right. But that's the only time that you can maybe step up and maybe redirect Jay in a corrective type way.
But over the last 25 years, when he's had medical issues and medical questions, I've walked him through them.
Yeah.
I show him the research. I explain it to him in ways that a jury could understand.
Now, Jay, before Dan joined the firm, before he was a lawyer, and would you often in medical mal or major Rex or would you use him as your medical expert?
100% consulting expert. My father first and Danny second, Uncle Nick. I would consult with them always before I took a case. I would find out what the issues were. I'd call my dad. My dad would be very, very blunt as no problem or that guy screwed up. And then if it was an issue that involved plastic surgery or just, science in general, Danny's a really, really smart scientist, and he knows the standard of care very well. And one of the things he also knows is what he doesn't know. So that's why when he and I are having legal debates, we're not really arguing. If it's a law issue, he defers to me. And if it's a medical issue, he'll speak up, and then I've got to defer to him.
And, one time where it really came in handy was we were doing a mediation on a case, and a guy on the other side, one of the other attorneys, was trying to explain something, and his explanation was inaccurate. He was trying to describe something that happened in the operating room, and I had said, guys, that's not how it happens. I am a surgeon. This is how it works. You guys are completely wrong in your interpretation of how this particular system works, and that's something that Jay could not with authority say because he doesn't spend.
You could almost get mad about it.
I did get mad about it.
Right.
I called the guy.
Well, let's not say what you called the guy.
Called the guy Geraldo.
So anyway,
stupid mustache.
Dave Portnoy can single-handedly change a pizza place's fate by his pizza reviews. He's back as the owner and president of Barstool. In doing that, they have a nightclub /bar in Philly. And backstory to this is somebody ordered like, is it Seth? Somebody ordered like bottle service or something where they would come out from the back with like a sign that said "Happy Birthday, Bubba," "Happy Birthday, Seth." You know, a sign that they had
like a marquee, like a little mini marquee,
right? That they had made, like they just didn't whip up and write with a magic marker, but a little mini marquee mini marquee that was made, and then they would big sparklers and what have not, and then go to the table of the people that ordered this stuff and set it down, and the little sign would be there and everybody would see it and it'd say "Happy Birthday, Jay" or whatever. Well, somebody within his place, somebody within his bar ownership and or just employee, somebody had a sign made that said FUC, F the bad word, the F word, which makes I feel so stupid at saying that, but the Jews, F-U-C, F Jews.
A Temple student ordered the sign bottle service.
All right. Now, I'm assuming...
Which he's been suspended now from Temple.
So the Temple guy is the one that put the order in for the verbiage to be made, and Portnoy's people had the sign made. There was nobody that said, I don't know. I don't know if we tell David from Temple that we can't do that message. And in fact, we're going to go ahead and cancel his reservation if that's his mentality. We have, people lined up trying to get these tables. Thank you, David, but no thank you. Well, you have your party at Temple, not at our place. But instead, somebody from...
Two bartenders that were fired now.
Two bartenders had the sign made.
Do you want the sign?
Do I? What do you mean, do I want the sign?
I mean, do you want to show it?
You can show it?
Can you...
Is there a picture of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's on our front page. I mean, it's on our thumbnail.
The actual sign is?
The actual sign?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, send it to me. I mean, if we have a picture...
All right, I sent it.
Okay. Did you IM it to me?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the actual... Let me see here. Boom. Okay.
Not good.
So this is...
It's pretty
not good.
Pretty visible.
Not a lot of room for error
or interpretation.
And really, quite frankly, not funny.
No,
like not funny, not cool, not anything. Like, and
shocking.
How does the manager, or even this woman here that works for, I'm assuming Portnoy, who is the person that carries the marquee out to the customer's table.
She's one of the ones that got fired.
As she should be. When she's looking at this and she's like, I don't think we can do any of this.
We can't put that. How about Antifa? No. Can we put from the river to the sea?
No.
Okay.
How about Happy Birthday, David?
Nice.
How about that? God. How about Happy Birthday, David? So you go back to David and you said, David, you got one or two options. You can get your ass thrown out of here right now based on the message that you want the marquee, or we can put Happy Birthday, David. That's what you're going to get. And this is what they come out with, And now let's not forget Dave Portnoy is Jewish. And I'm not Jewish, and I'm offended by that. And so...
People are mortified looking at it.
Is that wrong?
Fuck him. Yeah. Is reprehensible.
No.
Did that guy get his ass whipped? Did he get thrown out?
No.
Nothing.
No, I mean, he got suspended for, looks like, from Temple right now.
I will tell you this, though, man. I love Portnoy. I love what he came up with. And this is his reaction to that. Now, mind you, this is a bar that he owns. So, inevitably, it's not his responsibility, but it's his responsibility to come up with an explanation as to how this happened. Now, mind you, he's Jewish.
Well, you've owned a lot of bars. You know what? I mean, what would you do?
And you don't have control of every minutia. But
no,
you can react.
can't.
But
You can't. You actually have to have faith in some employees that are just going to use the common sense. Just use common sense and know that when it gets to David's put the order in. The order has now come in. He wants the marquee to say F the Jews. The girl who's doing the marquee thinks that might not be cool. She gets a hold of me or Fabrizi or whoever owns the bar or Tony Gaudiosi who is managing it and says, hey, this guy wants to put F the Jews. The general manager or the bar manager says, absolutely not. What table is he at? He's at table 6. Guy runs over to table 6 and said, David, are you David? Yes. Are you the guy that ordered the F the Jews deal? Yeah, I am. What part of that do you think is funny? And that is going to be so disruptive in this club, and that is so offensive that you're lucky I don't throw you out of here. But I'll tell you what I'll do. You can stay here, but what are you celebrating here? Is it your girlfriend here? Like, what are you celebrating here? It's my girlfriend Rhonda's birthday. Good. Then you know what you can say? Happy birthday, Rhonda, from David. Other than that, get the hell out of my club. And you're lucky that wasn't the first option, is getting the hell out of my club. But everybody's just so stupid.
Common sense.
Everybody's
is
just
lacking.
so stupid. From the girl, from the hot chick that carried the marquee out, to the person that actually put the letters F the Jew, for the person that placed the letters. I mean, there was actually thought involved. This is 3 layers deep. 1, the David dude communicating to a person that what he wanted on the marquee. 2, that person either finding the letters and putting them on or giving that order to somebody else. And then 3, the lack of management not intercepting that message before it went from backstage, out in the back area to the front. So Portnoy is full hot. Here's his reaction. And mind you, he's Jewish and he owns the place. So
Barstool, Sampson Street, usually a great bar. Bottle service, people buy drinks. You get a sign. There was a sign yesterday that said Jews. I've been shaking. I've been so mad for the last 2 hours.
By the way, Lemmy's got a huge presence on all social media platforms, and he called an emergency meeting.
Yes.
And he does that every once in a while, like when there's some really stuff going down. He called an emergency meeting. This is a 2-part clip. Thank you, Gary Cantrell, for editing for us and making it so that we can play it. And he called an emergency meeting, and this is part of his emergency meeting.
I instantly got on. This is why the emergency press conference was late, because I was so over the top. It's like, I'm going to make it my life mission to ruin these people. Like, I'm coming to your throat. I'm never ending. And I just sat, and for the last 2 hours, I have been on the trail. Trust me, I've been on the trail. You think I'm going to put up with this at my bar? So I've been hunting down waitresses, the table who did it, and everything you can name, because I want consequences for actions. So
I love the fact that he's not some little bitch snowflake woke, like he's an owner that's saying no. I mean, like he's handling it the way we all would.
I'm not just sitting back like, oh, what are you going to know? Trust me, I have been on it.
So that's part 1, Lemmy. Here's part 2 of him just full hot. Let me see. Here we go. This is part 2.
Let's try to turn a hideous incident into maybe a learning experience, as cliche and very unlike me. But I talked to both the culprits who I know are super involved in it, talked to the families. I'm sending these kids to Auschwitz. They've agreed to go. That's, of course, the Holocaust concentration camps. Been in touch with the Crafts, who run the anti-hate group. We're going to send these kids to Auschwitz, and they're going to do a tour.
Now, is he talking about when he says kids, his employees?
And maybe even the kids at the bar.
He fired the employees.
Yeah, he fired the employees at Temple, the Temple student that suspended.
So he's saying that when he talks about kids and sending them to Auschwitz, that's the David guy from Temple that ordered the sign. That's what he speak of.
Yes.
Of the concentration camps in Germany, and hopefully learn something, and maybe their lives aren't ruined and they think twice, and more importantly,
more importantly, the guy who ordered it, what was I want to know your reasoning why ordering it. What was your, why?
Do you think they'd have the same kind of outrage if it said "F the Pope"?
Or I mean, what if it said? I mean,
would it?
Of course he would. David Portnoy would. Of course he would. Yes, he would.
I have less problems with F the Pope than I do F Jews. Jews didn't rape children and cover it up. I mean, I have more problem with the Catholic. F the Catholic Church or F the Pope, to me, that's not nearly the problem that this is. Because the Catholic Church, and I know both of you guys are heavily Catholic, but I mean they've done some questionable things.
Yeah, but no Baptist or Protestant or any other religion priest ever did anything bad to anybody.
No, they did.
Of course.
They're just not as
not as rich.
They just didn't. You know what? I'm sorry, they haven't. The Protestant and the Baptist and the Episcopalian and all that. They haven't settled to the tune of $4 or $5 billion.
Other people see it's not just like words you're throwing around. So to me, that's a fair outcome of this event. Let's try.
Now, does that then get the guy back into Temple?
Well, I think what this does is the problem is, how does this happen? There's a whole generation of youth that really don't appreciate how ugly World War II was and how ugly Hitler was and what he actually did to Jewish people. And so when you have these kids at college campuses, whether it's Columbia or Harvard or Brown or any of these Ivy League institutions that are out there protesting, they really have no idea what they're protesting for or against. And so they really are not educated as to the history of Palestine and Gaza and of Hamas, and they're really not educated as to the history of what happened to the Jews and the persecution of the Jews. And so what he's saying there is, hopefully, it's like when your kid does something wrong and you send them to prison to go look at prison. This is where you're going to end up. Maybe the experience of going to the Holocaust Museum and walking through those halls and seeing it all will open their eyes up and say, holy smokes.
I think there's a portion of people, maybe like this Temple guy, who doesn't even know what that means. Like, just thinks that that's the cool thing on college campuses to scream, because for the last 4 years, our president the Sleepy Joe let Harvard shut down complete classrooms and impeded people's travel throughout various parts of the campus based on anti-Semitic,
hate,
protests and hate, and they didn't shut it down. They didn't say, hey, listen, you can say death to Jews, you can say river to the sea, you can do all that nonsense, but guess what? See the protest zone over there? That's the protest zone. Yep. That's the protest zone for I hate white people. That's the protest zone for I hate Jews. That's the protest for abortion. That's the protest for everything. Right over there. Right there.
Speech becomes action.
Now go pull a permit like everybody else has to and stay in your little circle that you're supposed to. And you know what? Protest all you want, but you're not blocking people's classrooms. You're
or
not
graduations.
You're not making Jewish people feel unsafe.
Which is wrong.
You're not isolating anything. You're protesting in your little protest zone. But instead, these Ivy League and other colleges let these anti-Semitic
agitators
just get these events were large. They impeded regular students, either Jewish or non-Jewish's, travel amongst the university, getting to and from, and quite frankly, they were wrong.
And Bubba, after the World Trade Center was hit, American politics and the American media made it a point: do not blame all the Muslims for what happened on September 11th. They pounded that into our heads. The federal government said it. The state government said it. The media said it. We were not to take out our anger on other Muslims in America. But after the Palestinians invaded Israel on October 7th in 2020, was it like 2 now?
3.
3. They never did that. They let the hate rage on, and it was disproportionate, because you would think the people that weren't the people that were invaded, the public sentiment would be sympathetic to, but instead they actually encouraged the anti-Semitic, anti-Jewish
half of these kids,
hate speech. They let it go.
Half of these kids don't even have a dog in the fight.
It doesn't make any sense.
Half of these kids don't even have a dog in the fight.
Right.
They're not Palestinian. They're not Jewish. There's some rich kid from Detroit that's mom and dad's giving him a full ride to Harvard, and they think this is the cool thing to do. Like I can't even wrap my mind around it, and I get mad the more that I do on the universities that have allowed what they've allowed so far under the last administration. At least this administration, Trump. I watched the Meet the Press. I watched Meet the Press yesterday, and he's like, I'm ready to pull Harvard's tax exempt status and all federal funding to Harvard that seems to be the worst at allowing anti-Semitic gatherings on their campus.
So,
and he goes, I love that.
But you're highlighting something that's really important, and it's the distinction between speech and when speech becomes action. Because when you watch the mainstream media, they just talk about free speech and free speech for this Khalil dude. You lose your right to free speech when your speech becomes actions in the form of violating someone's civil rights of going to class or going on campus or shutting down a building like you're talking about, where they hijack a campus and they overtake it. That's a civil rights violation.
You have every right to say hate the Jews. You do. The First Amendment gives you the right to say that. But hold on. But you have to say it. You have to say it in a non-threatening, non-violent,
non-action.
You could, anybody can say anything. I mean, we could, but say it in that protest square. Like every other protest that we have on campus, we have an area of where protesters can be. Mm-hmm. We're not going to violate or lift any of our protesting rules. You say it there.
And the First Amendment does not protect free speech in a private establishment. A bar can say, I don't care what your philosophy is. I don't care what your free speech is. Get the hell out.
Yeah.
You don't belong here. It's the federal government can't attack you for what you say, but a private business can throw you the hell out if they don't like what you say.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no right to go into a private establishment like a bar and say what you want to say without a consequence.
And if you're Harvard, which we would probably say academic-wise is the end-all be-all. More presidents have come from Harvard than any other university.
Maybe Yale, but
nope. Look it up.
Is it Harvard?
Look it up.
Okay.
So more presidents have come from Harvard than any other university, a very prestigious university. And if you're going to get tax-exempt status along with unbelievable amounts of federal funding, you're going to abide by the rules of First Amendment protesting.
Number 1 is Harvard. Number 2 is Yale.
Then God dang.
Number 3, College of William
about
and
that,
Mary.
Dan?
What's the third one?
College of William and Mary.
Really?
That's from back in the day.
Who's right?
You're right. You are. Bubba 1, Dr. Dan 0.
How what's the difference between Yale and Harvard? Like 1 or 2, or is it?
Don't try to dull my victory, bitch.
Listen, Dr. Dan, those stats are not available. Right?
Here's the deal.
How about law schools?
But here's the deal, man.
Yale Law School.
Here's the deal. You know what? You're not going to keep your tax exemption status, which saves them hundreds of millions a year.
Right.
And we're not going to federally fund you if you can't fundamentally protect our First Amendment and how it's delivered. And you've allowed our First Amendment to be weaponized. You've weaponized our First Amendment. You, the most prestigious, one of the most prestigious liberal arts college in the world. Have now weaponized our most sacred amendment. The amendment that our country was built upon to get away from under the rule of a king.
Yes.
And you have now weaponized it, where people have to be afraid because when they walk by the Kill the Jews section, they might get hit in the head with a brick, or they can't get into their classroom because they've blocked the entrance. No, Harvard. I'm sorry. I know that you think you're Harvard and you're all that. Bitch, I'm shutting you down. And I think that's what Trump's trying to do right now.
Well, they're a private institution that gets public funding, and there's $7 billion with a B annually that goes to Ivy League private schools. And what Trump is saying is, we're not going to give you this money when you have billions of dollars in endowments for you to perpetuate hate speech.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Weaponize the First Amendment. The First Amendment, you can speak it and write a sign about it all day. You can put anything on there you want. The most offensive things that I'm not even going to say on the radio. But you stay in your little corner and you keep your mouth shut and you don't touch people and you don't hurt people and you don't intimidate people.
Instruct them.
You just say your stupid ass message and let people look at you stupidly. If Lummy happens to come in and trip you or hit you in the head with a brick, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Didn't see that part. Let me do some words so I'm not late.
If you liked that segment, then you'll definitely like the new redesigned BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show after this.
Kelly Brown.
Good morning, everybody. On Rumble, let's hit that like button. 89, is that right? Look on my phone. It's got to be better than that.
So, it looks like they cycle us down, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they have the other shows they got to put up.
But that's good. That's okay.
Yeah, I think we're still fifth.
We're 6th.
Yeah, we're still in the editor picks.
See 210 on my app. Where's YouTube?
But see, one thing you might want to talk to Homeboy is,
yeah.
So if you go to the front page right now,
yep,
that Live with Julie's done. She's not live anymore. You can see the people that are live. So I think he should keep us we should be why have her up there if she's not live anymore? So as long as we stay live, and they cycle through, but then we should reset. Right now, it's Chicks Are Right that's live, Jedi Trump live, and then Julie not live, Fellow Sports Degenerates not live, Stephen A. Smith Drops a Bomb not live, and then back over to us at 6th, that's just live. We should be 3rd right now.
Yeah, I'm talking about that. I know we are in our categories, number 1 on podcast. On the category side.
Okay, I see.
But I'll talk to him about how I'll even ask him, just kind of explain how the picks thing, how it cycles, and then tell him what you were saying. It's not live.
Yeah.
To keep it the live section.
On the front page, when a show goes not live anymore, then people that are live see Matt Kors and Wendy Bell Radio, they're getting ready to go probably at 9, which just knocked us down because we got Stephen A. Smith, My Fellow Sports Degenerates, and Live with Julie. They're all ahead of us, but they're not live. They're already done.
Yeah. So
we should, right now, be where Julie is. Here, let me show you. So this is upcoming. This is upcoming probably at 9. She's live and they're live. Well, Julie's not live. This guy's not live. That guy. We're live, so we should be back there, right there.
Yeah, I'll see if he. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, see if he can pop up and make sure the lives are at least in the top 5.
Well, just make sure
just above the recording.
You mean hold on that you stay at least above shows that are not live anymore.
The shows that have ended.
Right.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. I took a screenshot. I'll put that down in.
Kenny F. and Powers, with a buddy. Not quite at 1,000 on YouTube, everybody. Smash that like button.
Tommy, you're out of here. See you later, buddy. Not gonna put up with your anti-Semitic bullshit. I just got rid of you. I like being able to fuck with them. I need to keep a better eye on all this bullshit. There you go. Camper Terry, you're
Riding the line.
You're riding the line there, buddy. Yep. Riding the line, Camper Terry.
What's up, Big Buck? How you doing? Jay Bowler, Xerxes.
Big Buck.
How's everyone doing? HS Pub Fan 69. Al Guru. Remember, there's some jokes you should speak, not write. And some jokes you shouldn't even speak.
Jury selection under the way.
I know.
For P. Diddy.
How long do you think it goes? I think it goes days.
I think it goes a week.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabeto studios.
Aquabeto.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Get that weekend warrior gimmick. Let's say you're putting up a fence. Lummy, you can do it the easy way. I'm sorry, you can do it the hard way with a postal digger, which literally will kill you after 3 posts. Or you could go get one of those automatic auger gimmick, gasoline auger gimmicks from Sunbelt.
Cut your time in half.
Cut your time in, yeah.
More than half.
Or if you have like a skid steer, you could put an auger attachment on that and really go crazy. It all starts and stops with Sunbelt Rental, the official rental company of the Bubba the Love Sponge show. You can get the Weekend Warrior deal where they drop off your piece of equipment at 5 o'clock on Friday. They don't get it back. They don't come back and get it till Monday at about 9 or 10 in the morning. So you're getting Lummy, you're getting probably 3 hours of work. And some of those equipments have lights, like my skid steer have lights, so you're getting 3 hours. 3 or 4 hours on Friday, you're getting all day Saturday, you're getting all day Sunday, and if you really wanted to bust ass, you could get up Monday morning and do it.
That's right.
Go to sunbeltrental.com or what is it? What is it? What is the phone number on Sunbelt Rental? I think it's
1-900 Sunbelt.
No,
1-900.
1-900. What is it? A sex line?
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
Hello, Sunbelt Rental.
It is for you, man. Anybody talking about any sort of machinery would get you a half Woody.
I forget what. I had it around. I usually have it written down here.
Oh, do you not have your little paper?
My Sunbelt Rental. I know it's sunbeltrentals.com.
Yes, it is.
Or 1-800. I don't know. You're supposed to find that stuff out for me.
I got 888-886-8199. But that's probably not the friendly one.
That's not the friendly one. We'll figure it out. Hello, who's this?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Howdy. I was looking to talk to Seth about some cards, man.
Oh, card talk. It's Seth. You know what? Yes, it's a new segment called Seth's Card Corner. Go ahead. What do you got? You got like a 8 Beckett with a 9 FanDuel. I don't know. What do you got for me, buddy?
Well, I was kind of picking through my old stash and just like my kit. I was picking. I got some boxes of stuff. I got a Randy Johnson first edition, rookie card. It's supposed to be a misprint or whatever. How can I get in touch with just like do you all like a PO box or something?
You mean Seth? You mean Seth private? No. You mean Seth privately?
I don't know. I don't know. That's.
What are you looking? Are you looking to find out some information, or you looking to unload your cards?
I was kind of just looking to, I love the program so much. I'm kind of just more like I got to move out soon, so like just picking through stuff. I got some cool signatured cards that I don't know. It might be just fun to send you for the heck of it.
Just
Yeah,
you mean
yeah.
like-
No, some people do that.
You want just to gift them to us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Seth gets cards all the time from people that are cleaning out their attics and whatever. And they have an '86 Tops, Bill Buckner, and they want Seth to have it. So just send it to us. Bubba Radio Network, 5021 West Nassau, Nassau Street, Tampa, Florida, 33607. Attention, Seth /cards. Because when we see when we see cards, and we'll handle them super,
of course,
fragilely. I mean, you got a Randy Johnson signed.
It's a rookie card misprint.
Yeah, I'll take a look. Yeah,
Seth said, this is the most excited he's been the entire show.
Send him on down.
Well, damn. While I'm here, I might as well take the opportunity to say, man, I love y'all's program. You guys are the joy of my day. Most times when I wake up, I turn y'all on, and freaking while I'm picking through some of these cards, I'd love to send Seth some shit.
All right, watch your language, buddy.
I like that. That game's some edge, though.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, and listen. Yeah. Seth would love some of your stuff.
Yeah, just send me your contact info. I'll reach out to you once I get them and I go through them. I'll let you know if we have any gold on our hands here that you might want back. And I appreciate you thinking about me.
I already know I got gold. I already Googled them.
Oh, really?
What's
What
it worth?
what did you find in your Google gimmick?
You remember Augie Garrido, the head coach for Texas?
No, not really. But continue on.
Where I've got a signed card from him. The year they won the championship in 2005. It's like a 2005 championship winner with him. Who knows? That's a valueless card. I mean, who knows how much that's worth? But I'm picking through my stash. I've got a ton of cool rookies. Either way,
Seth,
I've got to move soon, so I've got to clear out my stuff.
Yes, and I mean, Seth, know that if you send them to Seth, that they're going to be appreciated. And we appreciate you being great, Bubba Army.
I'll cherish them.
And again, I gave you the address. Send them to us, and we appreciate you thinking about us, buddy.
Yeah, man. Seth, you're the man. Lummy, you're the man.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm flattered by y'all even accepting my call.
Well, there you have it.
That's how much I love you.
You'll be more flattered when we get your cards and we make a lot of money from them. We love you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it.
See you. Have a good day. Felix Baraja Slummy on the PayPal 25.
Can I ask a dumb question, Seth?
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App.
Yes.
Is a misprinted card more valuable because it's more rare?
It depends. There's a lot of air.
Sometimes.
There's a lot of air cards. There's some like classic air cards where there's really only a handful of them because they were truly like a misprint.
Mm-hmm.
But most of that stuff is, from back in the day. There's nothing really now that's any sort of huge air card.
Yeah, the Randy Johnson one is, I think, the Marlboro ad in the background, if it's there or not.
And that determines if it's worth monies.
Yeah.
All right.
So the Marlboro ad in the back means it's worth something, and the non-Marlboro ad means it's junk.
Pretty much.
So the governor of Maine, I think, has really pushed back on Trump's Title IX deal. It seems like she's the only one. Like, it seems like everybody has pretty much kind of fell in line with common sense, and that being, guys, boys, men compete against men, and women compete against women, or girls compete against girls. Except this bitch up in Maine, this bulldog-looking governor who looks like Maine might be the only place that's allowing it. But yesterday, a trans-identified boy, Soren Stark Chelsea, that's what this person identifies himself as, racing for North Yarmouth Academy in Maine Coast Rolf. God dang, look at it. Okay, this
Maine Coast Waldorf High School.
Yeah, hold on. This high school's name is North Yarmouth Academy / Maine Coast Waldorf High School. Well, Soren Stark Chelsea won first place in the girls 800 and 1600.
Yeah.
Watch the expression on the face of the first place girl of the first place girl, Leah Connor, after she crosses the finish line of the 800-meter race and is consoled by teammates. Now, hold on. They're saying
The first place girl.
She was a girl. They're saying it's a boy.
First place girl.
Yeah, they're saying the
So they're saying that the girl that was born biologically a girl, she was the first.
Yeah, she actually finished second.
Yeah.
Right. So she should have finished first.
So you're saying
if the boy wasn't there, she would have finished first.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can guess which one's the boy.
Is it this one?
I don't know. Let's see.
Oh, you'll tell.
Right off that. Okay, I have no idea. I would say yes based on the size there, Bubba. It's a big woman.
Is this after lap one here? Let me.
Is that the one? Number one?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the boy.
The one that's much larger and has wide shoulders and bigger legs.
This is where I hired Gene Lasker to come in and clothesline her.
Whoa.
For real. I mean, what kind of charge you gonna get?
For clotheslining a kid?
Clotheslining a kid. Let me tell you something, Your Honor. Second place family hired me. No, you know what? I did it for, you know what? Second place play people just told me about it. I did it for free. How about it? By the way, I think she won by 20. He won by 25 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, here's lap 3. I think it's a 4-lap race.
They could really use a drone for this type of footage.
They really could. I don't know if they have drones in Maine. And look, hold on now. Here we go. So, and look at this. Like the first place, who's a dude, nice, smooth, man-like strides, and the poor second place girl is just running her heart out.
Oh, that's for the 800. So the 800 and 1600 are. This is the 800.
Yes, this is only 4 laps. They have one more lap. Oh, okay, I guess.
See how close those two girls are? That's the way it usually ends. Not with the dude that's 10 yards ahead.
So this girl here really won.
See how close they are? That's what happens with normal competition.
Nope, I got second to the guy with the penis.
There should be another one where they show the 1600, and it's so far ahead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look how much I had. Hold on.
Yeah.
Look at
All
that.
right, so hold on.
Yeah.
She's not even around the turn yet.
The boy just passed the finish line, and second place is 25 seconds behind her. He won by a complete half track. So this is really the first girl to cross the track.
Look how much she's killing the other girl. She's really an amazing athlete.
Yeah, she's like really an amazing, because like she's 9-10 strides ahead of the second place female.
She must be really fast, that girl.
Yeah, well, but she got second. I think here's some pictures.
Oh my!
Yeah, that's
a very handsome woman.
That's the person that won.
Huh?
Yep.
What?
That's the person that won.
Wow.
Oh, is that the? That doesn't look like.
No, I think that's the actual girls.
Yeah, that's the actual girl. Yeah, I think they did like another deal and like let the girl, the second, third, and fourth girls, they made him. Here's the picture. And this poor girl.
Look at their body structure. Just look at the difference in their legs on the ground. Look at the leg on the ground of the guy.
Here.
And then
look at this.
And then look at the difference. It's just different body structure. Look at the shoulders.
And just look at her face.
You look at the shoulders and the biceps and the hip. I mean, the body structures are different.
But look at her face. She's like
sad.
She's like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, it's very disappointing.
Horrible. Now, Stephen A. Smith says, I'd vote for him.
I wouldn't.
I would.
just because he talks well.
Well,
I mean,
he makes. Hold on. Here's the deal.
look,
I think he's kind of in between, and I think he makes sense. I think he just makes. We've gotten into such a habit that politicians have to be politicians.
But they should have some experience. Okay, one of the things about Donald Trump is he's been very vocal about all the same things he's actually implementing in his second term for the last 30 years. He's been on Oprah, Phil Donahue, every kind of talk show you could imagine. People have been asking him whether he could be president or should be president. He's got a thoughtful position on international policy, economic policy, domestic policy. What the hell I like Stephen Smith, by the way. What the hell does he know about politics? Zilch. This shows the problem with the Democrat Party right now is they have an empty vessel, a guy that's amazing at speaking but has no political credibility, no experience, education, or training in the art of doing anything,
but here's
putting
the
together
thing.
a deal.
Here's the thing. He seems to make more sense than everybody that seems to have what you said you needed in this career politician world that we live in. I mean, I don't know. Donald Trump at one time was just a billionaire real estate tycoon.
Democrat.
And a Democrat. When I get back, so I don't run too far late, we'll get into the Stephen A. Smith.
Perfect.
One-on-one with potential 2028 Democratic candidate Stephen A. Smith. I like what the guy's saying. I really do.
If you want a deep dive into the Bubba the Love Sponge show from the past, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back after these words.
What's that?
Stephen A. Smith, you said you'd vote for?
Over any other Democrat that actually is in politics right now, even not knowing what he believes in, I think it would be more common sense than what we see now. I think the problem with him is he'd get railroaded like Trump did the first presidency. He doesn't know enough about the inner workings of D.C. that he would just be, his legs would be taken out from under him the whole time.
I mean, at least I'm assuming Trump had high-level conversations before he's ever president with, high-ranking politicians and stuff like that, just because of his wealth. I don't even think Stephen A. Smith has had these conversations. I just think that he's become so popular that now he goes on Fox News, he goes on CNN, he goes everywhere, and ABC and Disney probably fucking love it because he's just getting out there more and more and more. But ultimately, I just think it's hot air. I just think it's...
You're right. And politically, Trump was way more involved for the 30 years before because he was also very politically active in fundraising for people. He was a huge supporter of the Clintons, of the Pelosi's, of Schumer. He donated to all of them. And I think he's had policy positions on a lot of issues, which I think the first time is why a lot of Republicans didn't like him. They thought he wasn't Republican enough.
Well, when he used to go on Howard Stern all the time, he talked about, politics and he talked about things back then. Stephen A. is, if he can't talk about LeBron, he miscalculate, he misfires in his brain. If there's no LeBron to talk about, there's nothing. And right. I don't know, man. Just to tell me a guy that's talking about LeBron and Allen Iverson his whole life is good to be the president.
Yeah, I don't think he knows international politics. Name for me the prime minister of whatever country. You know what I mean? It's I don't think he knows that shit.
No. And he could learn it. He's a smart guy, but no more learning on the job.
No. And I just, do you think we'll ever see another person that has the internal fortitude to fight the government like Trump has?
Yeah, but Trump needs to chill the fuck out. He's a weirdo. Saying he could be the next pope, saying that he can fucking take over Greenland.
A meme out.
Saying he can take over Greenland, saying that fucking Canada's going to be the 51st state. He's so great on most of this shit, but when he gets off on this type of shit, it fucking...
Well, I know it bothers you, but it's just
it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me, but it validates when you can. First of all, none of that's going to happen. So why even?
Well, we've already retaken Panama, the Panama Canal.
That's not a bad thing.
I know, but I'm just saying it's a lot of the things he says he's going to do.
You're not going to take over Canada.
No.
You're not going to take over Greenland.
No, but I bet you we increase our military presence in Greenland over the next 4 years.
Then him saying, let's increase our military presence, him saying that's fucking awesome. Him, you know, he just sometimes like just.
I thought you would love that about him because I would have thought that's the way you would have governed is you would throw some shit out there just to fuck with people and then focus on what you're doing.
I would govern through fucking smart people like you and Tom Bean and fucking Kevin Hayes. I would govern that way. And when I went and told you guys, hey, I'm gonna tell everybody I should be the next pope, you motherfuckers would shut me right down.
And you'd still said that.
No, I wouldn't say it. Bullshit.
Well, I would not if I said he wouldn't. If Tom Bean, you wouldn't either.
You know, he said. I mean, everything he says, everything that it makes sense. I love. But
It's just trolling.
He gets into this fucking.
3 weeks ago, he was talking about his third term, and he was just joking. He clarified. I mean, he's not going to do any of that.
No, but on the Meet the Press interview yesterday, he did a wonderful job, and he shut that down.
He did.
He said, "No, I can't do that." A lot of people are saying that, but no, I'm going to hand this off to a capable person, and I'm here to give the next 3.5 years the best. That perfect.
Oh yeah, that happened in Miami when we were there. That boat something. Yeah. That was like right where we were.
Did you rescue him?
Dan jumped out and swam out there, mouth to mouth.
A couple of them.
Yeah, the dudes.
Why they do that? Oh.
They just overpacked the boat.
32 seems like a lot.
That's a Lamborghini boat too.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
You got till noon today to go to Bubba Army store, Bubba Army merch, Bubba Army shop, and get those Fat Man Dunk 3 tennis shoes. Ordering stops today at high noon. So. Also, you have till Friday to get that Full Trucker Effect t-shirt. Bubba Army shop, Bubba Army merch, BubbaArmyStore.com. Thank you. Hello, who's this?
Dan the Wolf.
You're the Wolf?
Dan the Wolf. You don't remember me?
I think he's the one who called John Morgan the Wolf. The Wolf.
No, Dan the Wolf. He remembers me.
Okay, Dan. Okay, Dan the Wolf. Yes, yes, Dan. How are you, bud?
Sorry.
I'm doing great, man. I just got back from Colorado, getting beat up from hiking and all, and I have this idea. I don't know. I'm sure you'll be able to promote it, but I'm looking to build America's Autobahn.
Okay.
Do you have a construction
And
company?
I got a good name for it.
Okay.
That's a positive.
It's called the Trump Track.
Okay. Realize that something that big of infrastructure would have to have every state that thing goes through massive.
Whoa. No. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
You're lucky I didn't hang up on you because your idea is absolutely idiotic. You're not going to name a federal highway after a president. It's just not going to happen. It's the infrastructure it would take and the amount of states that would have to agree, and it's logistically something. You know, where does your Trump Autobahn go from where to where? Here, I'll humor.
I'm glad you asked that question.
You know what? I was getting ready to tell you. I'll humor you by asking some questions about your stupid idea. Go ahead.
All right. From Tampa through Orlando, right up Daytona Speedway's ass. Okay? And then we make a left to Jacksonville, back down to Miami. You go up to outer space, and that spells the letter T, as I'm thinking.
I'm sorry, when rednecks take meth early in the morning before 10 o'clock and decide to call their favorite radio show.
Was he talking about that bullet train that Rick Scott shot down back in the day?
Technically, that would follow the rails.
The Trump Autobahn. That's what it was called.
Is that a road or is that
it's a redneck on meth idea is what it is. It's a guy that's called his show. It's a guy that's called the show before.
Well, you got to dream big, right?
Dan the Wolf. I'd rather listen to Stephen A. Smith tell me why he should be the next president and why everybody in this room shoots it down and laughs. You know what? It's the same reaction that everybody was giving Donald Trump in 2010 when he was talking about running.
How are we you know, the thing is like, how are everybody that wants to run that doesn't have experience is now going to get compared to Trump, just like everybody that gets drafted late in the NFL gets compared to Tom Brady. I think there's got to soon there will be other examples, but I don't even think you can compare these guys.
I mean, let's listen to his message. Can we at least do that?
Yes.
Give the guy a fair shake.
What are some of the things that Democrats have been doing that have turned you off and that make you say the party needs to be purged? Who needs to be purged from it, first of all? Do you have any names?
Well, I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to do that to a lot of people. But we know who the extreme left is. We know how they go about operating. We know what we lean towards when it came to open borders. We know that the spending was excessive, even though it's excessive on the Republican side as well. I think a $37 trillion budget. When Republicans try to act like it's just the Democrats, that's not true. But the Democrats certainly shouldn't be absolved from blame in that regard. Certainly with identity politics, woke culture, cancer culture, I thought that was something that ravaged our nation psychologically, because you had people literally scared they were going to lose their jobs if they pronounced the wrong pronoun, for crying out loud. It got that bad, and I think.
Is he lying?
We don't have a $37 trillion budget. That's the deficit.
I think that's one of the reasons that Donald Trump is in office today, because so much stuff, a lot is.
No, I actually think you're wrong on that. I think his newest budget was $37 trillion.
That's the total amount of debt. We're running a budget of
Hey, Alexa.
a few trillion.
Good morning, Alexa.
6, I think.
Good morning. May is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Oh, great.
To celebrate, I'm sharing stories of extraordinary Asian Americans and
When's
Pacific
it White Guy
Islanders
Month?
throughout history.
When's it White Guy
Just
Month?
say, who inspires you?
Every month.
Alexa, shut up. When is it Fat White Guy from Indiana Month? Because that's one month.
Didn't quite get that.
Exactly.
Tell me again.
What is Donald Trump's proposed budget? Hey, Alexa. What is Donald Trump's proposed budget?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Are you banging it?
86.6 trillion, and the 37 trillion is debt. Because the tax cuts that would extend it to 2054.
That's for J.D. Ocko right there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a fair man.
Was Stephen A. wrong?
He was.
Oh, okay.
Focused on the individual as opposed to actual policies itself. I'm talking about what they preached and what they talked to the American people about, more so than what they're doing.
But you know what this does show? This shows that an African-American man who is probably a liberal, is probably a Democrat, is disgusted. I think you guys will at least agree on this, whether he's a candidate or not, that he is a African-American from New York, Democrat, that's disgusted at how far left and radical his party has become, much like John Morgan.
Can I
I mean, would you at least
like
give me
Bill
that?
Maher, 100%.
Would you give me that?
I'll give you 100%.
Seth, what are you going to say?
I'll just say it's, hate to be the first one to say his name today, but this is very much like Hulk Hogan. This is he's an opportunist. He's getting a chance now because he's spoken out about politics on his podcast. Now he's getting a chance to go on CNN, to go on Fox News, much like when Hogan was pumping his beer and he went to the RNC, then Fox News started having him on every night, and then he started turning to a massive cheerleader for the Republican Party.
But Stephen A. Smith is way smarter than Terry Bollea. Way smarter.
Well, Bubba, so far Stephen A. hasn't said anything other than just what's currently going on and being wrong. He doesn't say
he hasn't
what
torn
he
his
would
shirt
do.
off and called anybody brother yet. Okay?
No, but what Seth's saying is he hasn't said anything about a Democratic policy. All he's doing is having the nuts to call out the Democratic policies.
I like a guy that's got those type of nuts.
messages that they were disseminating was incredibly uncomfortable to listen to and to hear. And I thought that it wasn't emblematic of what most Americans are thinking about. They're trying to pay their mortgages, rent, buy food and groceries, pay gas, and deal with the prices, the cost of living. And they want safety in the streets. That's primarily what most American citizens are about, trying to live in peace and harmony. And that's not something that I think either side has promoted along the way. And that's why I think the state of the nation is what it is at this particular moment in time.
You last month said that there are clearly other people more qualified to be president than you.
See, love it.
So what do you say to somebody out there who's watching, who thinks you have no political experience, no foreign policy experience? You're a gifted TV sports commentator without question, but are you really prepared to be president of the United States? How would you answer that?
I would say they're absolutely right. I'm not prepared. I'm not qualified.
CJ, I mean, I love it.
No political history whatsoever. I've never been interested in politics a day in my life. How did I come to this conclusion where I've left the door open? I'll tell you how. Elected officials have come up to me. Folks in the streets of America come up to me every single day. Not only that, my own pastor, A.R. Bernard from Christian Cultural Center in Brooklyn, New York, said to me, show respect to people who love and support you by leaving the door open, because you never know what God has planned for you.
Plus, Bronny James asked me too.
Or for us as a nation in the years to come. Just leave the door open. So that's what I did. I know that I have a voice, whether it's on ESPN, whether it's with the Stephen A. Smith Show on YouTube, and iHeartRadio, or any place else that I go. I know that when I speak, millions upon millions of people hear me. One would surmise that they listen to some of the things that I say, and then I look at our politics. How worse can it?
I'll tell you what I think he should be if he wants to dabble in politics. The mayor of New York.
That'd be a good start.
I mean, really,
yeah,
like,
I was thinking something like that too.
Yeah, I mean, like the mayor of New York. Rudy Giuliani was liked by the people because he represented the people, and I think Stephen A. Smith is New York. He makes a lot of sense. He's very candid with the fact that he doesn't have the experience, but he's listen.
Does he live in L.A. or New York?
He lives in New York. Part of being a good politician, and I'm not just talking about a politician, I'm talking about the upper echelon of politicians, is the ability to speak. And if you go back in our lifetime, there hasn't been a lot of, you have John F. Kennedy, you have Ronald Reagan, you have Bill Clinton, you got Barack Obama, and that's it. With regards to being able to really, really speak and grab people's attention. And that's what Stephen A. Smith has.
I sent you, if you want to see Trump's remarks when Stephen A. Smith, Bill O'Reilly, and Trump were together.
I'm going to continue to play Stephen A. Let me see. And then I'll pull that up.
Do you realize right now, and I'm saying this facetiously because I know that you do, Jake, doing what you do every single day. Do you realize that if you are an elected official, your real work is with the campaign? Once you get into office, literally you can get away. I'm talking about the nation's capital specifically, not state and local politics, just the nation's capital. You realize that you can literally go on Capitol Hill, and all your job is to do is to disagree with the other side. You don't even have to do anything else. Whatever the other side feels, you feel the opposite. That's not work. That's not going across the aisle. That's not maneuvering your way through the terrain, through the political terrain, and really negotiating on behalf of your constituency and the American people. All we're doing is engaging in acrimony and hate. And as a result, the American citizens are suffering. So when I look at it from that standpoint, and I think
if you look at the leadership of the Democratic Party in this guy's backyard, whether it be mayor, congressman, he might very well be in the same district as AOC.
He could run. Now that's not. He could run for Congress.
Listen,
he could do 4 or 6 years.
Would you not? If somebody put a gun to your head and said, "You want Stephen A. or AOC to be your representative?" I'll take this guy all day.
100 times, but that's also how you become politically savvy, is actually spending time and understanding it. So yeah, I think he could. Yeah. Do I think he could be an up and coming rising star? Sure,
I do.
Even Hillary Clinton became a senator before she tried to run for president.
Absolutely.
The impact that I could have as a centrist, as a moderate, as somebody who believes in being sensical and engaging in common sense. Unfortunately, I believe that if I did take this very, very seriously and I moved forward and I decided that I wanted to be a politician, do I believe I could win? You're damn right. But it's by default. It's not because I'm the most qualified candidate in the world. It's because of the state of our politics in the nation's capital, the politicians that we're looking at, and the fact that we don't believe for 1 second that they are serving the interest of the American people, nor are they interested in it. People look at me and they know one thing. I would be interested in serving the American people and doing what's in the best interest of this country. That means you, that means me, that means the black community, the Hispanic community, the white community, everybody. Because if all of us are rife with chaos, all that's going to lead to is America's destruction. And why would we want to be a part of that? So, again, I'm not qualified. There are plenty of people that are qualified, more qualified to be here, practically everybody. But are you going to win? And are you going to be committed to doing what's in the best interest of America? I know I'm that kind of person. That much I will say for myself. I'm not interested in division. I'm interested in galvanizing. That's what I'm about. That's what I try to be about. And sometimes you do that by calling it like you see it. And that's certainly something that I have proven I would do. I'd call it like I see it. People would know that.
100%. Stephen A. Smith.
I mean,
You're right. He's 100%. That's the most articulate 3 minutes that I've heard from anyone who has a D in front of their name.
Thank you.
Of all of them. And his self-deprecation and recognition that he doesn't know anything
I'll take another,
makes you like him more.
I'll take another one of these for today. I heard this and I was like,
I was in Miami. I hadn't seen that yet.
I was like, this makes as much sense to me as any politician I've seen to date.
You win a seat in Congress with that right there.
Yeah. You win the city of, you're the New York mayor with that message. You might, I don't know if he's in the same district as AOC. You're a congressman with, I love the fact that I'm not a divider. I'm a galvanizer. I mean, I'm not qualified. Almost everybody's more qualified than me, but I'm a communicator. I mean, like, that's a guy I want. Is that the guy that needs to be the president? Probably not. But is that a guy that could be a 2-term senator or congressman or mayor and looks like he plays it right down the middle? Yeah. To me, it looks like he plays it humbly right down the middle.
I think that guy could be a politician, and if he did that, Bubba, what people would look at is what's his track record. And if he had a track record of actually ruling the way that he's talking, he would have a very, very strong future.
Let's not forget Arnold Schwarzenegger. Let's not forget Sonny Bono. Let's not forget Clint Eastwood. Let's not forget Jesse Ventura. Let's not forget Donald Trump. Let's not forget
states except for Trump.
But I'm saying, let's not forget about actors and wrestlers and businessmen and that went on to, I mean, listen, Arnold Schwarzenegger, there's an argument to be said that he was so well liked in California that if we didn't have the 27th Amendment or 18th Amendment that states the American president must be born in America, there's an argument to be had that he could have been presidential material. He was so well liked.
The clip I tried to send you about Trump said that what he likes about Stephen A. Smith is he's got great entertainment skills, which is very important to run.
It is. Hello, who's this?
It's me again. Do you not own a racetrack? Do you not own a racetrack?
I do. Do you not have anything else to do but to not mess with me and my show and your stupid ass?
You're shooting down an Autobahn?
Yeah,
and you own a
I
racetrack.
am. I'm shooting down a stupid.
Enlighten me, dude.
I'm shooting down a stupid caller. I'm shooting down an asshole that's trying to hear himself on the radio that's bothering me. I'm shooting down a guy that doesn't have a job and lives off of the system. I'm shooting down a chronic caller that's calling my show that I don't have to let on the air. Let me recognize that number and don't let it go through again.
Got it.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
That's right. Snook Slayer. Have another Bush Light, sir. Natty Ice. That's what the fucking hill drink. Natty Ice. Have another Natty Ice, bitch.
What is it, Carlos? I don't know if that was it. Yeah, me too, ever now.
Is that him?
No, that's not him. Morning Bubba the Love Sponge show. Yeah, it might be on our. We'll check it out. Yeah, it might be on our. I'll message Gary. No problem, man. Thanks, man.
Protect and nurture their children instead of Esposito brutally beat his son with a baseball bat, telling police that his son was disrespectful.
52-year-old Anthony Andrew Esposito Jr. is accused of killing his 12-year-old son, Anthony P. Esposito, in their Hemlock Road home in Brantford yesterday afternoon. He faces a murder charge with special circumstances because of his son's age.
We'll probably try to end like at 55.
Perfect, so we can get it.
That way I can walk Jay out, and then we can get right back, back on the air because I gotta go out to.
Are we doing 10:20 or are we doing like
10 probably 10:15?
Okay. No, I don't, Reaganomics. I do not have that one. It's quite pricey. But one of the truer error cards.
Nice, 1.3 likes on YouTube.
Oh, it should be. It's a doozy. Topps this year had they had missing nameplates.
Did they?
Yeah, as a gimmick, as one of their short prints. Yeah. I think they had 35 made of each player because of Frank Thomas's number. No, I don't have a fuckface card. Yes, I did, Nick. I'm very curious to see how much he sold it for. I'm sure at least $3 grand. 3 to 4 grand, I'm guessing.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
You got till noon. Bubba Army merch, Bubba Army store, BubbaArmyShop.com to pick up those Fat Man Dunk 3 tennis shoes inspired by the Jordan 13s from back in the day. Fat guy on the side of the shoe dunking a donut. You can also peruse around the shop and see other great things like slides and backpacks and knives and other great things as well. You have till noon on that deal. We will start the after show, the uncensored podcast after show with me, Lummy, and Seth. And I'm trying to start it at 15 after, just because I have a place to be today at 11:30. And so we'll try to get that in and out as quickly as we possibly can. Lummy, I just, for the life of me, people can say I'm not jealous of this fat little kid. I just don't understand what special attribute this kid has that has propelled him to the level that he has, and that is this Rizzler kid, and where all he does is just literally scratch the only thing that I can see that he does is he just scratches his face like
That's all he does.
And that's supposed to be something, super fantastic that people just go crazy about, which just shows you how stupid our society has become. How about all the little boys and little girls that can do tap dance and play basketball and play soccer and just all the various things that young kids have gotten good at that's a special attribute that most people cannot comprehend or do.
You want them to roll out some 8-year-old soccer player? I mean, we can't go crazy over that like we can the Rizzler.
Okay.
He's got a signature move and cute kid.
Fat little bastard. So I guess, Lummy, he dressed up. He met the cast of the Rizzler meets the cast of of Thunderbolts.
Oh boy!
Now, is Thunderbolts a musical? Is it a movie?
No, it's a movie.
It's a movie?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you have all these adult actors and actresses that have to take a picture with this kid and act like he's all that. And I guess he dresses up like something, I don't know.
Yeah, he dresses up like one of the characters, I guess.
In this movie.
David, you got so much shorter.
Oh, boy.
Is that Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
Yes, it is.
She said she had no idea who the kid was.
Nobody does.
I saw something afterwards. She goes, I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah, and so here's this star-studded cast, and they're doing media and taking pictures as the cast of Thunderbolts. They're big-time stars.
They think they got to Make-A-Wish Foundation rolling through.
Yeah, they got a fat kid with a bad thyroid coming through here, and here's the deal: these actresses and actors have worked all their life to become as good of actors and actresses as they are. They've gone through Broadway. They've gone through, the path that it takes to get on a major motion picture. Some of these people are established stars, and they have to be sick to their stomach that a fat kid can scratch his face, and that is what his special attribute is. I just blows my mind.
No special attributes needed to be famous in 2025.
And then he acts like the Rizzler acts like they're supposed to know who he is. And Lummy, he's so fat that the uniform won't even zip up.
That's pretty bad.
Oh man.
Oh, the back of it's.
I mean, am I right or
Yes,
wrong?
you're right.
Hold on. Coming from a fellow fat guy that has done photo shoots before where the back didn't zipped, I quickly picked up on that. And again, like you said, Seth, these chicks, this Dreyfus, they don't know who they are. They're like, who's this guy?
David, you got so much shorter.
Is this a Make-A-Wish kid that's dying of cancer for a thyroid issue? So look, he starts scratching his chin.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, so cute. No, oh my God, how pathetic we've become.
I know these chicks seem pretty horny.
Well, these chicks seem pretty damn hot. They're thinking we have to take a picture with a kid who's, I mean, let's be honest with each other. What's his move? It's not like it's a handstand round off or a cartwheel into the splits. It is literally.
It's not the triple Lundy.
It's not the triple Lundy.
Nope.
It's literally looking like a smartass, scratching your chin.
That's it, right there.
That's it.
He can be president one day, Bubba.
And
if Donald Trump and Stephen A. can do it, the Riz can do it too.
And the next 4 stories, I'm just going to lump them all together under the guise of sometimes you should just take a person, and if you got all the evidence and all the DNA and it all points to you, and there's just no chance it could be anybody else, you should literally take them out back like Old Yeller and put a bullet in their head. Let me just read the headlines. Girl chained in basement, sex trafficked and forced to drink from a puddle. That's from Milwaukee. These were the living conditions that she were in. She was in. 2 sisters spoke with police about alleged abuse. One drawing a chilling sketch of how this girl drew a sketch as to her living conditions. That was her pan. They'd put a piece of bread there. She was tied up to a pole there. There was a vent there and a washer and dryer there and stairs over here.
Jeez.
This guy locked up girls and in his basement, sex trafficked them.
How many?
The girl told police she was trafficked to at least 6 different men for money. Also claimed that Boyd assaulted her older sister and another relative. When interviewed, the other sister said he sexually assaulted her between the years of 2015 and 2022, from the ages of 5 until 12. It stopped when she moved out of the home.
Oh my Lord, that's the most
right out back, Old Yeller style. This guy right here beat his kid completely to death with a baseball bat.
Oh, boy.
Parents are supposed to protect and nurture their children. Instead, Mr. Esposito brutally beat his son with a baseball bat, telling police that his son was disrespectful.
52-year-old Anthony Andrew Esposito Jr. is accused of killing his 12-year-old son, Anthony P. Esposito, in their Hemlock Road home in Branford yesterday afternoon. He faces a murder charge with special circumstances because of his son's age, but he is also accused of attempted murder for what the prosecutor says he did to his daughter.
He also pushed his 16-year-old daughter down the stairs and admitted to police that if he were able to get a hold of that baseball bat, he would have killed her too.
He does indicate to me that he has had mental health issues since the first
Security says he's admitted to having mental health issues. You think?
grade, multiple psychiatric hospitalizations while in childhood.
Esposito's public defender says he was last hospitalized for psychiatric issues 15 years ago and has, for the most part, gone untreated since then.
And that the police report does reflect that he was hearing voices as well.
Esposito's son was remembered today by friends who chose to focus on happier times.
These poor little kids.
No doubt.
Talking about their boy, their friend, their colleague that got killed by his father with a baseball bat.
With him.
Anthony was a very nice kid. He was always joyful, and he always wanted to play with his friends. We played it in the pool with him all the time.
So you're going to miss him?
Yeah. He's very kind.
The horrendous nature of the allegations in this case.
Right out back with a bullet in the head.
That's right.
Florida man kills woman, then kidnaps, rapes her daughter-in-law before locking her in a toolbox.
What?
Florida police say a 40-year-old man with "Trust No Bitch" tattoo and emblazoned across his chest has been arrested, facing felony charges and accusations of kidnapping and raping one woman, as well as beating a 74-year-old woman to death. David Gibson has been accused of kidnapping and brutally attacking a Florida woman before holding her captive in a storage container. He's also suspected of killing her mother-in-law.
What?
Yeah. That's Florida man at your finest. This kid here, he was 18 and he raped an 11-year-old, and then she had a baby at 12, and they had to find out who did it.
But he thought she was 14?
She thought,
what a scumbag.
The guy who was 18 at the time thought she was 14. She was really 11. He raped her. She gave a baby at 12. Right out back, Old Yeller style.
Oh, my goodness. Wonder if Stephen A. Smith can stop all this.
I hope so, too. He's got my vote.
Stephen A., buddy.
Man.
Stephen A., buddy. I'm going to walk Jay out. Let me give me, 15, and we'll try to start the after show.
Sounds good.
Thanks for letting me finish.
You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
me, Bubba the Love Sponge,
co-host and show historian, Lummit.
It's Seth, co-host and president of podcasting.
It's Brian Matroni, king of counter programming.
Like you're wiring up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
Co-host, Dr. Dan Diaco, Esquire of Council.
Co-host, J. Diaco, Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember.
I'll repeat hello. I'm back.